I don't know what's going on with Shem's full setup right now, but like at least you can be heard, and that's the important part.
Yeah, I'm basically there. I just gotta turn on the camera.
We weren't really talking about anything important at the moment. We were talking about like some shit with Bleach at the moment, and which surprise, surprise, is another show that Moon doesn't really know anything about. So it's
I
fine.
know the main character has orange hair. His name is Ichigo, and it had some badass opening themes.
And it's got Yoroichi. I think that's her name was.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I like her.
Ichigo literally translates to strawberry or 1 and 5, which is why you'll see 15 a lot because Ichi means 1 and Go is 5 if you're going off the numbers. But yeah, strawberry. That's literally Ichigo is strawberry, which is why you'll see.
Yeah,
that
were the writers hungry when they made Bleach, Naruto, and Dragon Ball?
One Piece. I know they were there and they make him One Piece.
I mean,
Because they all have characters named after food.
it's just easier to remember, dude. Strawberry swordsman, dude. Well, it's literally
Swordsman.
it's literally all right. So easy names for kids to say.
Luffy. That's
so
one.
Ichigo. Oh my God, strawberry and death.
Lovely.
Goku.
Yep.
All right.
Gohan.
Rice.
Let's see.
Fucking rice, baby.
Luffy.
Rice,
Gohan. Ichigo.
rice, baby. Boom,
Naruto.
boom, boom,
Yep.
Mom, what are we gonna eat in the Asian house? It's rice, baby. Bum, 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 ba-da-dun, dun. Yeah. All right. So
I had some today.
oh my God.
Who doesn't like rice?
I don't know.
The
Bro, how you
Europeans.
doing? How you doing? I know you live in Colorado. Colorado.
Good. I mean, yeah, I'm good.
It's,
It's a little chilly out here, but it's good.
Well, I was gonna say this weekend, was kind of a madhouse.
Yeah, I know.
There's-
I heard about that, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah,
That's not that far away from me too, so it's like,
Yeah.
are you fucking serious? Nobody can
was-
just have fun anymore, man. It
Yeah,
sucks.
you can't just it's getting to where people can't go to a gay bar in Colorado anymore.
So it's like,
Just
also please excuse my hair today, but it's all right.
why do we need to excuse your hair?
It's like trying to do like this one strand thing, so it's like
Okay.
whatever. It's doing what it wants today.
Spider-Man
I had to
doesn't
put like
rice
half a
because
ton of gel.
oh Spider-Man doesn't like
terrible.
rice because it's Uncle
Yeah.
Ben's. Oh!
Can't even make the face.
That's so sad. All right.
Sorry, I'm
That having been said, tomorrow, I'm really excited for tomorrow. Tomorrow's a happy day.
What's tomorrow?
Well, I know you guys are excited because today is Slime 9 day, but I'm super excited because tomorrow is Slime 15 day for me.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited
We're getting.
for that.
Yep.
Tomorrow
We're cutting
Slime
through them.
15 gets released, and I get to finally read it, and I'm really, really excited because Slime 14 left on such a cliffhanger, and I'm really, really anxious to hear to read what happens next, and not some shitty translation, like actually like the official release, and see how Rimuru fucks up a whole group of people that tried to fuck him over. It's Rimuru going to war with the Empire, and seriously going to war with the Empire. I want to see. I want to see how he makes them pay for what they've done. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, are you getting the physical copy or are you getting the digital?
Physical. With Slime is the only one that I still get physical copies of. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Everything
I was
else
just
is
curious.
kind of digital. Alrighty. So we're jumping into the Founders Day Festival today. Like proper day one of the festival today. Good shiz. Also, a really quick update. For those of you that are wondering, backup plans have already been started for social media stuff. I know half of the voiceover community, the abridged community, and a lot of the art community, and artist community, a lot of kind of the general nerdy community has been moving over to Hive Social, which is kind of like our backup for like Twitter.
Congratulations!
I'm surprised nobody's gone to Newgrounds. Newgrounds is pretty nice.
Revan, thank you for the 21 months.
I know. I don't know.
Newgrounds, funny.
know.
No, it's our backup. It's our backup for Twitter, and funny enough, here's one feature that I've already discovered that they have over Twitter that I'm really, really happy for. They have an edit function.
Yep.
Nice.
I'm already happy about this. It is.
Someone's been subscribed for 21 months. Sorry.
Yeah, that was what I said just a second ago. Revan, thank you for the 21 months. Yeah. So, really quickly, if you want to follow us there, I talked to Tony about it. I think Fat Dog is going to be moving over there, but I'm already on there, so I'm gonna post about it. It's like if you follow me on Twitter, just it's the same freaking handle that I have on Twitter. So Richie Roberts VO, same handle, same freaking thing. So if you want to follow me, there you go. I don't think they do ats, but guys, if you're getting like, if it feels slow or kind of laggy, bear with it. There's a lot of people transferring over, and literally it's
exodus.
And literally it's run by 2 people.
Is it mobile only?
For right now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
the
mobile
mass
only.
exodus of Twittarians.
I'm gonna go ahead and get that and try to make mine before someone else does. Moonlight Sparks is already taken by several people. It sucks.
No, fuck.
Yeah, I really love that name. I don't want to get rid of it.
Or you could do like a hyphen or like an underscore. Would that count? Or does that not count?
So
get on the ground floor.
I tried that
early
on Twitter and
get in on the ground floor early.
That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Getting that right now.
Yeah,
Like,
there's so many people. What's really funny is like, all right, the only person I know that's had to like, that's done like a name change, I think did it on purpose, and that was Little Karibo. So instead of Yugito, Yugito TAS or Yugito the Abridged series, essentially, it's literally at Little Karibo instead of Yugito TAS. So.
It's probably
that's
the more memorable one.
Yeah, that's the main difference. So it's at Little Karibo on Hive. I thought it was hilarious that Bungie and the Destiny community at large moved over to Hive.
Yeah.
Because Hive is one of the actual races of enemy in Destiny. So
they welcome them with open arms.
I appreciated that. I was waiting for Todd Habercorn to join it and just his first post to be, Hive, bring a sword. Just come on. If that is not his first post,
that better be.
Todd Habercorn, of course, plays Natsu in Fairy Tail, but he's also the Drifter in Destiny 2.
That's
if you get Hive,
looking guy.
Yeah. Ooh, Hive! Bring a sword!
Hive! Bring a sword! If that is not his very first post on Hive, I'm going to be very disappointed. How dare.
He always looks like Hanzo to me. I don't know why.
Does he?
A little bit, to me.
So anyway, I'm going to be very disappointed if that's not the case. But I think we should kind of start a little early.
Yeah.
We're about 10 minutes early on when we normally start. One little bit of surprise, kind of shocking news that happened today. That was kind of just kind of interesting. Just a little interesting. It caused the stock for them to go up. So Bob Chapek was ousted as the CEO of Disney.
Good.
Yeah. So Bob Chapek is no longer the CEO of Disney, and Bob Iger is now back as the Disney CEO.
Bob has replaced Bob.
Yeah. So I find that great. Now keep in mind that Bob Chapek took over in February of 2020, 1 month before COVID. 1 month before COVID. So Now, of course, that wasn't his problem, but like all the decisions that he made after that were 100% on him. And the fact that Disney has plummeted, and like his first major L that he took was like his decision with Black Widow and putting it on Disney Plus without consulting anybody. And the fact that he straight up got into a lawsuit with Scarlett Johansson and lost. Like, literally all he had to do to avoid that PR nightmare was just talk to her and her reps and everything and go, hey, this is what we're looking at doing because of this situation. Let's renegotiate your contract to make sure that we've taken care of everything and do this. That's all he had to do, was sit there and renegotiate their contract to make sure that she got some residuals from that, make sure everybody was happy, and then do it that way. Bam! Done! Could have avoided so much hassle. No, he decided to try and fuck everybody over, and then he dragged the company through the mud because of it. And then it was
He also said something.
Oh yeah. Oh, he said some shit. Oh, he tried. Yeah. He tried to slander her. That was half of it. He tried to go the slander route, and it was just L after L after L. And then there was the "Don't Say Gay" bill, and him trying to hide around that, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
He also said something about where like he was like, animation isn't a medium or something like that. He said something about like animated animations for kids. Ugh. And I was just like, okay, so Evangelion and Made in Abyss and Devilman Crybaby, oh yeah, all for kids. It's all animated cartoons. It's fine. It's all good. I just found it funny because it's like, dude, you're the CEO of Disney. There is no magic in your heart.
Holy shit. Let's see. Invincible.
Yep, Invincible.
That's because
same company made Generation Rex, which was more kid friendly.
That's because Chapek is from the corporate side.
Yeah,
like he grew up on the corporate side, and Iger is the creative side. But
it's like, dude, there's no magic in your heart.
Like literally 100%. Chapek is out. Iger is back. He's back for 2 years.
Igor.
His mandate is to correct the direction of Disney and to find and train a suitable replacement within 2 years. I do not envy him of that job. I don't know if 2 years is enough time.
He's only carrying one of the biggest corporations on his back. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. I don't know what. All right, keep in mind that they just recently renewed Chapek's contract for another 3 years. So shortly after renewing his contract for 3 years, they went ahead and fired this man and replaced him. So I don't know what happened, but something big happened because they had an emergency board meeting, and then the next thing you know, they fired this man and replaced him. And I'm like, goddamn.
He probably made a big stinky.
Dude.
He probably said something unsavory, and they're like, you forfeit your life.
Something had to have happened. It had to have been like the heads of like a couple of studios had to have come together and been like, look, dude. Probably what happened was Kathleen Kennedy, Kevin Feige, and like the head of Disney Studios and probably Pixar all got together, talked to the board, and were like, and probably talked to the board and were like, you need to get this man out of here because he is fucking everything up left and right. And bring back Iger because it was easier to work with the creatives this way.
I just found it really funny. It's like, oh, well, imagine that. The guy who said animation is only for children, and then he has no love in his heart for it. It's like, oh, well, imagine that. That guy getting booted.
Yeah, and then
the fucking Disney.
The list of shows that you can list off that's just not.
I don't know. I just found it really funny.
Imagine what happens to Disney when you put the Grinch in charge. The audacity!
Because the fucking animated one is made by the guy who did Looney Tunes. So.
All right, anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Warner Brothers.
Ladies and gentlemen of the congregation.
Right. Very gentle simmer.
Open your loving hearts and also your holy books.
God.
And also
your
what?
Sonic looks like the fucking like an analog horror beginning. Like it's like whoa.
Your holy books of Rimuruism.
Your lighting is really scary, man.
Not working.
Also,
hold on.
Also, his image is frozen.
Really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
God. open your holy books of Rimuruism to chapter 2.
And then Sonic opened his eyes, and all that was left was blood. And Richie, Shem, and Sparks descended upon.
I am just pale as fuck, and meanwhile, it's just blood red over down below me.
Yeah, it's like the scary red brown.
Bro, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I'm having the best time with Twitter right now. Now that it's just the wild fucking west, because Tampax is just having the best. It's just the best, right? Did you guys not see? They were like,
no, I didn't.
They're like, you're sliding in her DMs. Oh. We're in her. We are not the same. And I'm like, oh my God, no.
Dude.
And then somebody replied. Somebody replied with like a picture of Trump's face on a Tampax, and it just said stopping the red wave, and I'm like, oh my God, no. Oh my God,
no. See, one of my favorite things that has come out of this was this guy was like, oh, hey, the copyright laws have been lifted. Here's the entire Morbius movie in one GIF. I'm like,
jeez.
And it's just the entire fucking Morbius movie in one GIF.
The only thing that could possibly be worse than that is like if they put Morbius's head on the Green Ranger's like body and just said it's Morbin time.
No.
Oh,
dude, that's distasteful.
It's terrible.
That's distasteful as fuck.
Yeah, but you know that's Twitter right now.
Yeah.
I mean that's I guess so.
Yeah.
It is 100%
Twitter right now.
It's just that and like funny Pokemon Scarlet.
But there's also tasteful AF stuff going on right now. I have literally seen Batman. I have literally seen a Kevin Conroy Batman action figure, like Batman the Animated Series action figure, sitting on a shelf next to a Green Ranger action figure.
Oh, that's awesome! I like that.
It's just like the most badass stuff. It's like, and it's just straight up action figure stuff. It's so good.
Yeah, it's respectful. But
all right. It's like, that's fucked up. And I'm like, yeah. Well, that's fucked up. Well, it's Morbin time, man.
Let me see.
He's gonna morb.
Pterodactyl.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with Sonic's vampire.
Yeah.
It's Morbin time. All right. Well, everybody is headed to Mastodon. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
What's up with Sonic? Like, okay, he was frozen for a second. He's so fast.
He'll be back 1 second. Dude. He's so fast.
Dude. Dude, he did become an analog horror. He's going to show up as like a 2008 jump scare.
It's just going to be his face right there.
All right,
like,
here we go, guys. Guys.
Good.
All right. Following my audiences with the monster weeders of the forest of Joa, my discussions with Western nations' representatives proceeded without a hitch. We talked details with them at a later date, but for now, all signs looked pretty good. The rather bizarre banquet we'd held the previous night also went smoothly, even with the movers and shakers from all over the world attending. Really, it was a coup for us. But for the most part, I spoke only with people I already knew beforehand. Wigard and Maui Mile were handling the more practical side of things, talking to people and summarizing what they said for me. They also made it known that visitors shouldn't try indiscreetly talking with me while I went about my business. Leave me alone, is what they meant, yeah. And your mother smelled of elderberries.
Elderberries.
There we go. Yeah. Great job, guys. Talk about capable. Because honestly, if someone went right up to me with an offer, I might very well just say, all right, sure, to them. Who knows what kind of commitments I'd be beholden to them. Having a cushion against that was extremely helpful. I mean, if it helped build relationships with other countries, I wouldn't hesitate to offer as much support as I could, but it was safer to be conservative until we had a better gauge of the other party. Basically, stop being such a yes man to everyone I see. Yeah, that's a good idea. Rimuru, shut the fuck up. Besides, the facts were that we had a personnel shortage. Once the excitement from the festival died down, we had a mountain of projects to tackle and a herd of issues screaming to be addressed. Whether we could cover them all or not, we lacked the government infrastructure needed to fine-tune and execute on them. If I threw even more work on everyone's laps right now, we'd just drown in it all. Riegert and Molly Mile were even better at processing this than I was. Their expert handling of any issue I ordered them to look at was making me complacent, despite myself. I even kept them up late kept them up late for last night's meeting. From now on, I resolved to myself after the emergency conference ended late. I couldn't let them spoil me. Today, then, my mission was to act like the national leader I was and give out visitors the best service I possibly could. Give our visitors, sorry. So here we are now, a bright, sunny day. Bright, bright, sunshiny day. Yeah. Cold as balls! Dude, it was cold as balls. All across this nation, it was cold as balls. I saw the national weather map. Jesus fucking Christ, it was cold as titties. Yeah. This morning, I saw the national weather map. It did not get into the 60s and 70s until you got to the lower panhandle of Florida. Until you got to the gun handle of Florida, that's when it finally hit the 60s. For the most part, it was in the 20s and the 30s, even down in mid-Georgia. I was like, all right, cool. At least everybody in the South is suffering with me.
Yes, fucking cold.
It was goddamn cold. Dude, it was in the 19s up here in Tennessee. I was like, fuck. Shit. At least you guys were in the 20s. I was like, fuck.
We had one night. It was a few nights ago. I left work. It was 46, but it was the right kind of cold. It wasn't so cold that you're sitting there, shivering immediately. You're just like, this is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. Mm-hmm. And then, 2 hour later, it was suddenly like, I hate this. Let me go inside.
I'm at the point where it's like, Toby, you better go pee and poop now because we ain't going after this. It's like, I don't care if you whine. Fuck you. You want to go out? Back porch? Fuck you. It's like, that's it. I'm not going out no more. They're like, oh, I like the cold because you can keep putting layers. Fuck you. I'd rather be hot.
Really?
Yeah,
I'd still rather be cold.
Okay.
Because at least I can walk around naked.
I mean, public indecency laws.
I don't go outside. That's for people who go outside.
Did we read any? I had to.
Yes, we started reading.
Stuff.
He's a ghost.
Yeah, sorry. I had to step away because we're trying to get stuff ready for Thanksgiving. It's like, oh, I need you to add this to the list, and then we had to go through the whole process of updating the computer, and because the freaking thing on the phone need to send a stupid login code, and the code is sent to that computer, which needs to be restarted. It's the whole freaking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we still don't see you on the camera. Yeah,
it's just an empty chair. No. Yeah, you're a ghost right now.
You are an empty chair.
Disembodied voice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back to the thing. So, where was I? Oh, bright sunshiny day. If it was raining, I would have blown the clouds away and held it regardless, but this was Rimuru, capital of Tempest. The northern zone of the city, named after me, was where most of our government agencies were located, and atop the balcony of the main assembly hall in the middle, I looked down at the people below. Ahead was the main street, extending out from this building and across the whole of the town, and today it was completely full of people. There were my people, former monsters, more appropriately called demi-humans these days. There were magic-born, gathered from all across the forest of Jura. There were merchants from nearby nations, along with the adventurers serving as their bodyguards. There were even farmers stopping in, hoping for a taste of the excitement. There were a melting pot of races and species, numbering over 100,000, and right now they were all spread out before me. Slowly, gradually, it made me feel I had done it. I had created a nation where man and monster could coexist without conflict. The feeling filled my heart. Piece by piece, it comforted me. Now, it was almost time. I stood up and placed a hand on the mic. Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
God damn it.
Sorry.
Decided to work.
Fucking shim.
Yep. Try to sneak that in.
Doing it now? Working now? Seeing my hands? All that stuff?
No, it's loading.
No?
Watching two squares do a dance.
Yes.
Square dancing.
Dance, make a little love, get down tonight.
Yes.
Are we gonna keep this up, or can I continue reading?
I mean, I guess. I mean, if it loads in, it loads in.
All right. Well. All right.
Worst case, we'll have a cam tonight.
I mean, I can just sit here quietly for 20 more minutes until it's somebody else's turn. We're good. All right. It's not a lot.
Floor is yours.
It's not.
Gilbert.
It's not. Wait. Somebody redeemed that. God damn it. Of course, somebody redeemed Gilbert Gottfried.
Yep.
It's one of the best ones.
Oh man.
Yep.
Okay, so I already did that, and I did that. Okay, so Gottfried has been redeemed. Okay. Where was I? Northern Zone.
I actually would like to know where, except no.
Now it was almost time, I think.
No.
You were right after that. So you were ladies and gents, or gentlemen.
Yeah. I am the
posture check again. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's just nice.
Mark is completed. Done. Okay. So melting pot of races, ladies and gents. I am the almighty demon lord. Screw this. A formal policy speech was. Screw this! A formal policy speech was asking a little, actually a lot. Too much from me. Instead, I opted to wing it and give the crowd my honest feelings. I'm the Demon Lord Rimuru. Good to see you all. So, I'm glad you all accepted the invitation to my country here. Some of you are visiting for the first time, but I don't want any of you to be anxious. It's true. I am a Demon Lord, but I have no intention of being hostile toward any human. My hope is that I can build a nation where all of us can get along together. I believe that, instead of people and monsters fighting, we can join hands and work together. A better future is waiting for all of us. I gauged the reaction as I spoke. They all seemed to be lending an attentive ear. My own subjects, of course, but also the peasants. Just here for fun. Sensing I had some momentum, I continued. I am sure some of you are wary of me because I've become a demon lord. That's only natural, of course, but I honestly want you to believe in what you're feeling. I have no interest in forcing my will upon any of you. If you think you can believe in me, I'd be happy to hear that. But if you don't, I'm not going to dwell on it. Trust isn't created overnight. I'm not going to press you for a conclusion on that, because I feel trust is something we earn by building it up over the course of our relationship.
Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say. Trust is a gradual process, and that's fine. It'll develop on them, I suppose. To accept me for what I really am. A slimy bastard. Bastard.
Why, you fucking assholes? Can I just read a little bit in my own natural voice? Fuck you all. Alright, anyway.
Okay.
Just force Shim to do all the voices.
Alright, so
I can try.
Next, I wanted to reveal my true intentions to my fellow rulers, to the royalty and nobility in the audience.
I am once again asking for your
the
support.
Millionaires and billionaires. They needed to pay their fair share. Alright, anyway. Alright. To all the nobles here, when you return to your homelands, I ask you to be honest and relate everything you see to your countrymen. We have already established friendly relations with several countries, even if you don't trust us and those other nations worthy of your trust. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Even if you don't trust us, are those other nations worthy of your trust? If you are biased against me because I'm a slime or a demon lord, I hope that you can cast that aside. That, of course, would be up to the nation in question, not the individuals who make it up. The feelings of the people in the audience may not be the real issue, but I'd still like to believe that what I said had value. What am a sugar slime?
Sugarness. Good.
But I needed to give a warning just to prevent a second farmers from happening. Personally, I have no intention whatsoever of waging war simply because someone will not join hands with us. However, if you try to push unequal treatment on us because we are monsters, or attempt to wage a war in order to eradicate us, we will not show you any mercy. I think all of you can understand that much looking at the recently destroyed kingdom of Farmus.
Those, too, were my thoughts on the matter. It could be construed as a threat, but it was how I honestly felt. I didn't like war, but I had no qualms about waging it. If a ruler ever shows indecision, it's their defenseless civilians who would wind up getting dragged into it. The entire role of a nation is to protect the lives and fortunes of its citizens. I had monsters gathering here because they relied on me, to say nothing of the people who'd be moving in before long. Keeping them safe was the most important job I had.
Now cue the laugh.
Oh.
Ah.
All right, there you go. A world without military power would be an ideal one, but that was an impossible fairy tale. People are free to dream about it during peaceful times, but rulers don't get that luxury. At a bare minimum, a nation was expected to be prepared to deal with any situation that could arise. That was why I wanted to address the ruling class listening to me while I had a chance. To wrap up, and to all the merchants, adventurers, and regular peasantry gathered here, I swear to you that I will not lay a hand on any of you. I mean, unless you commit a crime or something. But otherwise, no. My nation is facing a lack of workers. We have many jobs that need to be filled. So if you seek work, I would like all of you to consider moving here. Wherever people gather, new opportunities and new chances are bound to follow. As a rule, we guarantee your right to free expression. This includes free speech, as well as the right to choose the job you want. You do, of course, still have responsibility for your words and actions, but regardless, it holds true. If this sounds like a nation you'd be interested in, then by all means, give some thought to what I just said. Going forward, our nation is planning a multitude of events. The Tempest Founders Festival starting today is only the beginning, and I hope all of you enjoy it. After that appeal to the common man, I ended my speech. Was I being a little too honest? Well, I'm just an ex-employee at a contractor factory. Getting this promotion out of the blue doesn't mean I'm suddenly capable of looking and talking like nobility. But despite that, the crowd listening to me erupted in applause. Not only my citizens, but I could see visitors from other nations too, whooping and hollering. A few of them looked pretty unconvinced still, but by the looks of things, I'd say a solid majority believed in me, and by extension my country. For now, I was happy with that. It'd be creepy if I received 100% support from the start. I had given them my honest feelings. Now, I'd have to wait and see how people reacted to them. But either way, the speech was a signal that the Tempest Founders Festival, was underway. Alrighty, Marcus, complete.
Finally, we're in the festival. Proper.
Well, yeah.
Like this whole time it's been like, are we there yet? This every chapter. Yeah, we're finally in the festival.
Yes.
Woo!
Alright. My speech wrapped up, I went down to the first floor hall. There, I was greeted by my kids, dressed in a new change of clothes. Hey, Mr. Tempest, you're the king of this country? Oh, didn't I tell them? You didn't know that, Kenya? Well, it's not too late to realize how great a person I am. How about treating me with a little more respect? Why would I? Okay, Mr. Tempest, lots of respect. As I prodded Kenya a bit, Alice gave me a big hug. Me too, Chloe shouted, adding herself to the pile. I laughed, patting their heads as I gently peeled them off me. Alice and the others weren't pleased, but I had only one body. They'd need to realize that before they started fighting over me. But it's still a huge surprise, said... Oh, but it's still a huge surprise, said Gale. Yeah. Ryota nodding with him. I mean... I was kind of suspicious yesterday, but... Oh, don't worry. I didn't become king until after I left you anyway. See why I was so busy now? Well, yeah, that's a pretty good excuse, but Kenya still wasn't very satisfied with this, but at least he was thinking a little about it. So I guess we still won't see a lot of each other, Mr. Tempest. Oh, I'll come over when I'm free. Really, despite the looks of it, I'm more decoration here than anything. What's that mean? Are you a big shot or not, man? I tried to smooth things over with Kenya as much as I could as I went over our rules for this event. Okay, listen, guys. At a festival like this, it's easy to get excited and cut loose a little too much. So don't get carried away and don't get in a fight with everyone or with anyone, all right? Okay, that's the spirit. Do you have your handkerchiefs, your tissues, and your pendant? Of course! Their responses, at least, were always snappy. I could have asked someone to chaperone them around, but my own staff members were already busy. Diablo was at the Coliseum handling referee duty, Hakuro was having some family time with Momiji, and Benimaru was guarding me. You sure you don't want Momiji spending time with you instead of her dad? Please, sir, it's still too early for that. Benimaru seemed eager to run away from that question, didn't he? I guess we just have to wait for time to sort it out. Anyway, Shuna was running a cafe for the festival, and Shion must have had some business as well, because I hadn't seen her since morning. That, in itself, was cause for concern, but I wanted to believe she was fine. Soe was running town security undercover, though. and I was sure he'd alert me if any trouble happened. His team was keeping an eye on the kids as well, so I didn't see too much need for worry. Hey, what's up? Something bothering you? Just when I thought there wasn't much need for worry, someone came up to me. It was Hinata, in street clothes, and standing there with her rapier by her hip. She had a sleeveless dress on in a navy blue color that ventured close to black, and her armpits and chest lurked just barely out of sight, giving her an inexplicable sort of attraction. The belt her sword hung from accentuated just how narrow her waist was. Yep, a sight for sore eyes. I wanted to stare at her some more, but she flashed her an icy look at me, so I coughed and looked away. Hey, Mr. Tempest! Who's that woman? Alice and Chloe shouted at me, both a little put off. This is Hinata. She's really strong, you know. We fought to a tie once. Huh? A tie against that old? Before Kenya could finish, the tip of her rapier was against his throat. I didn't even see her draw it. And there it was, maybe a millimeter away from bare skin. The slightest movement from Kenya would skewer him. What were you about to say? I just meant you were really beautiful, he managed to blurt out as he shivered, tears in his eyes. Ryota wanted to help him out, but couldn't even move. A mere look from Hinata planted his feet to the ground. Gale, too, was frozen solid, boundlessly fascinated as he was. I could imagine why. Even I was scared of her, so Ryota's and Gale's reactions were completely understandable. Don't be rude to her, okay, Kenya? She was an apprentice to Shizu, too, you know? That makes her your senior, like with Yuki. Kenya gave me a, I wish you would have told me sooner look. I understood how he felt, but really, this was his fault. It happened right after I told him not to get carried away or start fights, so really, I have to say he deserved it. Shizu's apprentice. Wait, no way! The girl who got stronger than Shizu in just 1 month? Hinata Sakaguchi? Captain of the Lubelius Crusaders? Wow! But is it really you? Why didn't you tell us sooner? Come on! With a light ching, Hinata put her sword away. Kenya promptly fell to the ground, too unnerved to get back up. I thought I was gonna pee my pants, he said, a little pale. Gross, retorted Alice. Look, I was scared, all right? I hope this shit ends up in season 3 of the anime.
Oh, hell yeah.
I really want to see this in the anime.
I see no reason why it would.
This really needs to be in it. Because just imagine how funny this would be. We really need this.
Oh, you think I'm not imagining it as we're reading
we really
this?
I'm just saying, we need more. As much as I want Volume 7, like, I know Volume 7's going to be in the anime. We need more than Volume 7. We need to get to Volume 9, and we definitely need this in the anime.
I imagine they're going to definitely shortcut a lot of, like, Volume 7, but...
they don't need to shortcut. The first half of the anime, like, if they're going to break it into 2 cores, the first core of...
Mm-hmm.
The first core should just be Volume 7. The second core can be 8 and 9. Because Volume 8 is kind of build up, and then the second half can be 9. It can be like the actual festival. Like, honestly, the second core can just be these 2. Because, yeah. Anyway. Look, I was scared, all right? But I think that was your fault, Kenya. Kenya fell silent. But I think that was your fault, Kenya. Kenya fell silent. I think he knew Chloe was right. But did you really fight to a tie with Hinata, Mr. Tempest? Oh, but did you really fight to a tie with Hinata, Mr. Tempest? I gave Gale the honest answer. Pretty much. One side ran off before the battle could be decided, so definitely a draw. Wait, you ran, Mr. Tempest? Did I say who? Damn, they're sharp. I'll leave that to your imagination, I replied, trying to salvage my image. It wasn't a lie, and I think I had revealed enough of the truth anyway. The children looked like they had more questions, but Hinata cut them off. So what were you concerned about just now? I recalled thinking about who I might be able to leave the kids to. Well, these kids are about to hit the town, but you see how crowded it is. I need someone to watch them. Oh, well, I can babysit them. So I was just figuring out who to... Huh? What did she just say? Hinata would watch the children? That was a joke. It wasn't funny. What do you say? What? Are you saying I'm not good enough for that? Oh, no, not at all. She was staring at me. So scary. Now I was impressed Kenya didn't piss himself. He deserved more praise. And you won't say no to me either, will you? No, of course not. Ken? Absolutely not. By all means. You too, Gale? Well, all right. Kenya and Gale immediately fell to her will. Ryota, seeing their reaction, didn't hold out much longer. I can't believe I'm getting to be with you, Hinata. I look up to you so much. Alice was fangirling out, too. She looked up to Masayuki, too, she'd mentioned earlier, and I suppose Hinata was like a pop star to her. And no complaints from Hinata. She was already getting attached. As for Chloe, I like you. You kind of remind me of Shizu. She gave Hinata a hug, all smiles. If Chloe liked Hinata, she must really be a good person inside, huh? A little scary around the eyes, but that didn't affect Chloe much. And unless I imagined it, I thought I saw a bit of a smile on Hinata's face as well. In the blink of an eye, she had captured their hearts. Right, let's go. Why don't we check out the food stalls first? I heard they have yakisoba noodles and grilled corn. Okay! What leadership! It was astounding. I could only assume the children would be fine under Hinata's care. It filled me with relief even as Hinata came up and whispered in my ear. I'll watch them for you, but you handle Lady Luminous, all right? Huh? I hadn't seen her last night, but Luminous was here after all? Oh, did she decide to pay a visit? You invited her, didn't you? I saw her gleefully preparing a maid outfit for the occasion. And it's 9 o'clock. Shim, you take over.
Okay. Amazingly, Luminous had disguised herself as a paladin alongside Arnaud and Bacchus to partake in the festivities. For the first day, she'd be joining the group of royalty and nobility on the tour of the premises I'd be giving. Paladins qualified as nobility, as the rule went. So she was perfectly fine being mixed in with the tour. Very shrewd of her, I guess you could say. She even stayed last night in the brand new church I had built in this nation. I had no idea at all, which just shows how well she had concealed herself. There's a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks in advance, Hinata said as she went off with the children. Suddenly, I felt like I had much more to worry about. Hinata was practically skipping down the street meanwhile. She got me again, didn't she? Knew it.
She got the easy job.
Got him.
Got him.
Fucking got him.
Fucking got him.
The moment Hinata was out of sight. Yeah. I felt a light slap on my shoulder. He just spirals up in the air. Well, Rimuru, I don't think I've ever seen Hinata smile before. It was a smiling Yuki standing there, dressed not in a fancy suit, but in a uniform that looked like a more modified school suit, or a school outfit. He was here to take me to our designated meeting point for the tour. Yeah, I never would have guessed she'd be interested in watching the kids. I figured she'd tell me to shut up and storm off. Oh, I don't know about that. You might not guess it, but Hinata's pretty good at taking care of people. It is a surprise, though, and she looks really great in that dress. Apparently, she bought it in town here. She looks kind of like a pretty fashion-conscious college student, huh? So that was from Tempest? I thought I was mistaken, but I guess I wasn't. In that case, Hinata's gotta be loaded, cause, let me tell you, that dress doesn't come cheap. It was made from hellmoth silk, comfortable against the skin and granting the wearer the effects of cancel temperature. It also offered pretty decent defense, reducing damage better than your bog-standard leather armor, but it was lavishly expensive. We had a steady supply of silk fabric, but it still wasn't nearly enough, and each piece had to be handmade. Oh.
Oh boy.
Between the scarcity and labor involved, we all but had to charge an arm and leg for it.
It was a boutique shopping for nobles, not the girl on the street like moi. And Hinata had bought it on first sight yesterday without hesitating. Slapped her credit card on the counter like, hi-ya!
God damn it.
Pretty good.
The only person I think actually was getting that dress than me.
God damn it.
Jesus, okay.
And she'd already had it tailored to her size, and clearly money was no object with her.
Okay, good.
All right.
Not that I'm complaining. Always nice to have a free spending customer. Well, it's a big party right now, so maybe she's loosening the purse strings a little. She was looking all around town all excited yesterday, too. She was? Maybe I was even more mistaken than I thought. She was really looking forward to the Founders Festival, wasn't she? Oh, and that's why she was palming Luminous off on me. So she could really cut loose, huh? What was she looking for yesterday? Oh, just checking out what stalls you had, I suppose. She went on and on to me about how you had yakisoba and roasted corn for one. She did? So Hinata had been casing the festival grounds yesterday. She certainly wasn't messing around, was she? To her, this event was like a battle she wanted to plunge right into the middle of, heart and soul. And it kind of is in a way.
Yeah.
Indeed. What?
She literally had this whole shit planned out. She wanted to
she's
ditch,
like,
she literally ding dong ditched Rimuru. Like, that's the whole thing. She was like, I'll take care of the kids. You gotta look after Luminous. Bye, bitch!
Yep.
Like,
Luminous is gonna let me, without Luminous to hold my hand, I can buy whatever I want.
Exactly. Yeah, like, literally, that's what she did. She was like,
yep.
I would imagine she'd look at that dress with Luminous right there. It's like, you're not gonna pay out with my money, are you?
No. Oh no, she's not spending Luminous's money. That's Hinata spending her own money. Hinata has a shit ton of money.
Yeah, she's
imagine.
good.
Yeah.
This is like a
weird.
You have to realize Hinata has a shit ton of money because she never actually spends her own money.
I'd imagine.
She
Just
really...
for a second there, it seemed like it might have been Luminous's because how she had to ditch her.
No, she just doesn't have to look after Luminous now because she's just
okay.
So
she basically goes, "Hey, Luminous is your problem. Peace him out. I never have all this food. Like, she never has a reason to spend money. So now she has a reason, and there's a whole bunch of shit she wants to try. So now she's gonna be like, fuck yeah. So yeah.
Be like,
yeah.
Yep.
So
this is like a kid who got who just got his first paycheck and he's going to a con.
Capitalism, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
A very big paycheck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you remember to save money for food? Food?
Holding like one package of ramen noodles.
Literally.
That has to go the whole day.
I bought a bun.
Here's the thing. You literally just let a lottery winner off into Akihabara.
Yep. And he's
the joke's on her. He's getting all the money. Yeah, right.
I mean,
true.
Well,
got your money.
I mean, it has to be divvied out to a lot of people. So.
Or to be more precise,
his country.
Here's what it is. Rimuru owns the Sega building, and you just let Connor off into the crane game area.
Yep.
And he's, I don't have an addiction. Just spent like $200 on a crane machine. I'm like, you have an addiction.
I don't have a problem. You have a problem.
Dog BA. I don't have an addiction. Did you not just drop $300 at a crane machine for content?
Listen, I know you can buy whatever's inside for probably a fraction of the money that you're going to spend getting it, but
it's the principle.
It's about the feeling.
It's
about the feeling. It's the thrill of the hunt.
Sumimasen.
Yes.
Sumimasen.
It is the thrill of the
hunt. What about season 4? We'll worry about season 4 when we get to that point.
What about why are we talking about season 4?
Spider.
I don't know. Oh.
Where did
in the chat?
I don't see. Oh. That was a while ago, bro.
Yeah.
Spider.
I was like
I said, I don't see
all
it
the way
when
down
it's
to Miss Piggy.
Actually, I probably since my camera's
so adorable. The student becomes
right
the teacher. Yeah. We already did the Miss Piggy thing. Just to go ahead and let you know, that's already happened.
Yep.
All right, continue on.
Yep. Indeed, we had all kinds of stalls lined up in rows around the Coliseum. The fast food outlet, or what you'd call fast food in my previous world, was part of that. Molly Ma had made all the arrangements for it, and we had the whole menu ready for today. Burgers, hot dogs, fries, and a selection of juices. That was far from all. Yes, there was yakisoba and corn, but also cow deer.
I just realized she said yakisoba. Guess who's running the yakisoba stall?
No.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh, no.
This is gonna go beautifully.
It's Veldora!
And she has the kids!
Oh, God.
Yeah!
Chloe,
Yeah.
Alice, say hi to Veldora, the Dragon of Destruction.
Right?
Hi.
This is gonna be great.
It's the Dragon of the Storm.
Molly Mall's men's just trying to hold things together by the skin of their teeth.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be interesting.
Hello there, children. Would you like some noodles?
It's got like the spatulas, like in
They're
Hula.
gonna go to
Why
the
does
stall.
he look like an old man? One of them's probably
We
Kenya.
need to go to the stall.
Kenya.
What stall? The stall with the power. The stall with the power. The power. What power? The power of voodoo.
Oh,
Voodoo?
Voodoo. What?
Do what?
Remind me of that.
Of the stall.
Remind me of the dragon.
You're the dragon.
Dragon. A
dragon with the
A
power.
dragon. I swear I saw a dragon.
You remind me of the
Good.
dragon. What dragon? The dragon.
Dragon with the power. What power?
Power,
Power
the
of.
storm.
Yeah.
No.
I feel like at some point we're gonna be like, soup. I was like, the soup store? Why are you buying clothes at the soup store?
No soup for you. Like, God damn it.
They went like.
Veldora,
80
get out of the
different
soup store.
Yep.
Fuck you.
Good.
All right, anyway, sorry.
Get out.
Continue on.
It's okay. We even had shaved ice on offer, although it was a little too early season-wise. Come summer, that'd probably become a top seller. I made sure the ice was shaved into thin, tiny strips so they gently melted in your mouth. And there were gobs
Not
of
in your
sweet syrup
hand.
poured over every bowl. Yeah, just... It was truly a treat that reigned supreme, and I know because I tried it myself. Take a walk down there, and you were greeted with the fragrant aromas of cooking soy sauce and sugary fruit flavors. Lots of people were working hard for this day, and it showed. Wait, what? What'd you say?
I just saw Chaldeer kebabs, and I was like, kebabs.
Yeah, kebabs.
Kebabs.
Yes. I'd use thought communication to send images of the food I had in mind to everyone involved, and the able hands of Shuna and her staff had made most of my suggestions a reality. Then Molly Ma worked out all the logistics for the food stalls, and for some reason, Veldora was opening a grilled food joint of his own.
Yep.
Hinata, according to Yuki, yep. And you know which one?
How about the
Had
nice
checked out.
kebab?
Kebab. He's just got the fucking gyro on like a spit.
Yeah, exactly.
That
The
would be one of
spinning
those.
meat.
Yeah, and then
nice
just-
kebab.
You want the gyro?
Yeah.
You want gyro? You want shawarma?
Fun with that.
Either one would be good, actually.
I want
Anyway.
shawarma now.
Shawarma is really good. I've had it for the first time.
I don't know what shawarma is, but I want some.
It's pretty good.
Hydrate.
Hydrate.
Oh, yeah. I have that.
All right.
Ugh. All right. Hinata, according to Yuki, had checked out the whole scene yesterday, deciding exactly where she wanted to visit. Wow. Hey, maybe Hinata's a bigger fan of junk food than she looks, huh? Hey, join the club, he replied. You're right, though. It's kind of surprising. Learning this unexpected fact about Hinata was a welcome surprise, I think. At the very least, I knew now she wasn't afraid to toss big money around on a whim, so she'd definitely be a favorite customer of ours. I was a bit worried, though. Hopefully she doesn't set a bad example for the kids. So I headed to the reception hall with Benimaru and Yuki, and by the time we did, Rieger was already going over today's schedule with a large noble contingent on hand. Ah, Surimaru. That was an excellent speech earlier. Was it? Seeing Rieger look so happy about it warmed me up. Guess it didn't go so badly after all. Good. I returned Rieger's smile. Now, everybody, let me guide you to our first attraction of the day. Oh, this is him. Now, everybody, let me guide you to our first attraction of the day. He began to walk off, leading the group to our first stop, a building right near the reception hall. This was our concert hall, its interior remodeled at breakneck speed, but the results looked better than I expected. The high-quality seats were lined up in rows oriented based on our acoustic calculations. Our visitors each sat at their assigned chairs without complaint. Compared to Japan, I couldn't help but be biased against this world's level of culture. I'm sure people on the other side would think the same of me, but regardless, those are my feelings. There was a robust art scene, and this world didn't lose out to my old one in terms of painting or music. But that applied only to the noble ranks. It served as a diversion for them, something on which to lavish money and time. Whenever a city developed itself to an advanced enough level, the angels would start attacking it, and thanks to that, the ruling classes tended to isolate and conceal scientific research to some extent. Art was the same way, and generally, patrons of the arts saw such works as something to commission and enjoy strictly for themselves. Personally, I think culture is something nurtured by all of society. There's genius lurking all over the world, and in such a close-knit art scene, that genius is not only hard to dig up, but may likely not be discovered at all. Art and creative activity can be enjoyed only when one has room for it in their lives. It's almost too extravagant to expect that much from this world, but I wasn't willing to give up. I wanted to search far and wide for that hidden genius, and to achieve that, I needed to start by spreading culture for my own nation. This concert event today was our first step. A lot of musical instruments in this world resembled the ones I was familiar with. We even had a piano, surprisingly enough, found in Clayman's mansion, of course. That demon lord was living a stereotypical life of nobility, and we uncovered a large cache of instruments in one of the many ornately decorated rooms in his manor. There were many among the monster races with an ear for music. There was a tradition for yearly festivals, for one, featuring flute and drum-based rhythms. And thanks to lending those instruments to the more musically inclined among my people, we were starting to see some budding prodigies. I'd given some practice instruments to those interested, teaching the basics of reading sheet music. That was about as far as my own expertise went, but then my good friend Raphael stepped up. Between the music textbooks I had in Japan and the instrument-related knowledge from the library in this world, Raphael was able to collate all those data and put them together in a single volume. The guy was even able to rebuild knowledge I had long forgotten. I couldn't be more grateful.
You goddamn
After that,
right.
of course, I mean, it's true. It's just nice. Fucking all the knowledge of music in my old world just compiled in one thing. Thanks.
Knowledge.
Moonlight motherfucking Sonata,
yes.
Bitch.
Yes.
After that, of course,
No,
it come
Moonlight
all down
Sonata,
to the
not
monsters on
Moonlight
Everest.
Sparks.
Oh, might be.
Yeah.
Yup. Dude, I do like classical music.
Your name doesn't sound like da 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 da.
Yep.
Maybe I could make that my theme song.
That's not your theme song.
Why not?
Yeah,
It's got Moonlight in it.
I mean, you could. Well, if you make your VTuber channel, you could have that as your BRB music.
Shit.
Or at
It's
least your
royalty-free.
intro.
Oh, yeah.
Or your intro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a sped up
royalty-free.
version for the intro.
The anxiety version. Just
Or a lo-fi. Have a lo-fi
yeah,
version
there's probably
for
a
your
lo-fi
BRB.
classical.
Yeah.
There's
Lo-fi
probably a
BRB,
lo-fi classical
yeah.
music out there. I'm sure
There you
it's
go.
out there.
Sure.
All right, anyway.
Royalty free. Anyway, after that, of course, it all come down to the monster's own efforts. It's really true. If you like something, you get better at it. And in a flash, we had monsters picking the instruments of their choice and improving at them by leaps and bounds. I also had some sheet music recreated from what I remembered from my past. I don't have a perfect picture or anything, but it didn't matter to Raphael, who edited and rearranged everything just right. I'd worry about infringing on someone's rights, but copyright organizations and the concept of copyrights, for that matter, didn't exist in this world.
Oh, that
If
must be
someone
lovely.
finds out,
Yeah, no one copyrights it.
Fuck.
yep.
Hinata
Hopefully
probably could.
they'll, maybe, but
Shit doesn't matter.
hopefully,
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
yep. Nope. Don't
It'd
matter.
only have to be like otherworlders who could. But...
Here's the, you can't claim copyright. You can't claim copyright when the people that created it don't exist in this world.
Oh, that's right.
That's
yeah,
true. They
it
don't
doesn't matter. Hey,
yeah.
it doesn't matter if people from the other world don't recognize it. They just be grateful to fucking hear it again.
Like just
Quick,
put it
get
out.
all of the
fucking-
Eagles
What are they gonna do?
discography.
What are they gonna sit here and do? Be like,
No.
you
Beatles.
stole
Go
that?
Beatles.
They're like,
Yeah, the Beatles.
We're gonna
yep.
sue you. In what legal system?
Yeah, you can't. Good luck. Good luck suing me in a fucking universe where they
Bruh,
don't exist.
so-
Sue you
it-
instead of using a hammer or gavel. I'll use my sword.
It's so funny. It's so funny that you guys are gonna be like, oh, the Beatles, oh this, oh that.
I just said the
Bruh.
Eagles because they
Bruh,
were like
you're
really,
like you're like
talent
Beatles,
grasped
the
for music.
Eagles, you're bruh. This is a
Queen.
Japanese. This is a Japanese motherfucking nerd, and y'all are sitting here talking about like
Hey, they like
that
them.
basic
Stones.
ass-
I'm
pretty
talking.
sure.
No.
So what would the Japanese equivalent be?
The
I know
Japanese
nothing about
nerd
actual
equivalent.
music.
Keep reading.
honestly,
You're
I
about
don't
to
know.
find out.
Okay. All right. Hopefully they'll turn the other cheek for the sake of our cultural expansion. Violins formed our main inventory, accompanied by trumpets, kettle drums, and so forth. Finding a piano was itself a surprise, but seeing monsters play it like it was the easiest thing in the world was positively moving. I suppose you could debate whether a piano belongs in an orchestra or not, but I didn't lose sleep over the question. If there was demand for the piano as a way to express yourself, no need to deny it. I personally had no musical talent, so I just let the monsters do what they wanted. The results had been personally guaranteed by Molly Mile, and today I'd be hearing them for the first time. Excitedly, nervously, I waited for things to begin. Once everyone was in their seats, the lights slowly began to dim as the curtains rose. It revealed a group of performers, all dressed in the same formal wear, a hodgepodge of races and species, each with their instrument of their calling. Some human-like, others closer to animals, but all brimming with confidence and pride in their instruments. The halfling, apparently the conductor, advanced to the front of the stage, giving the audience a deep bow. That, I think, was the boy who had come wailing at me once, crying about how there was no work he could do. No, I said. Of course that's not true. But he was too weak for construction work. He wasn't good at math, and he tried farming, but that didn't last long. He then volunteered for our armed forces, but he wasn't very good in a fight either. The thing about him was, he was great at motivating other people to perform. He had a repertoire of songs he'd sing to help people unify and come together. I think I wound up recommending him to the military band, and while I was at it, I gave him the name of Baton. Baton now lifted his head, his face colored with intense passion. He turned to the stage, taking in the curious stares from the upper crust audience. He was small, but his back seemed to loom large from my vantage point. There was a pause. It's always so fortunate when you can find what you're truly good at. The conductor's baton rose, and then the music began. It started with an easy, gentle melody, and then it transformed, growing solemn and grave. Under Baton's conducting, the musicians moved to perfect harmony, each of them having discovered something they could be proud of as well. The music they played charmed the hearts of listeners, making them wonder if this exact moment was the best in their whole lives. It was classical, in terms of being from the olden times, with the nuance of spanning generations to be recognized as a masterpiece. Some pieces soothed the heart. Some sent it soaring to grand heights. Some stirred up your courage. One masterpiece came after the other, created by this small band of geniuses. This group, some of whom weren't even literate, worked so hard to study the music, and now the fruits of their labors echoed beautifully across the halls. Nobody would dismiss them as useless now, and if anyone did, I think I'd just punch them out. That's just how wonderful their playing was. I'd gone to classical concerts maybe 2 or 3 times in Japan, but these guys didn't lose out to them at all. No, I have never expected to see music played at such a high level over here. Yuki, too, closed his eyes and listened. I'm sure it was nostalgic for him. Almost wanted to start bragging to him. See, what do you think of that? As I thought about this, the sound came to a close. And then the next piece began. One of my favorite anime opening songs.
Told you!
But which one?
Anime openings, video game OSTs. Come on, motherfucker!
When you walk away.
Sorry.
No, bro,
I could work.
bro,
Kingdom Hearts.
bro. Can you?
Wait. No. Having the sex with the bees and the eagles.
Bees and the eagles.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Richie just giving you the look of the fuck is wrong with
you know when they do this, they're probably gonna play the main theme of fucking Slime, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, what's that song? It's so beautiful."
I think they did that in Slime Diaries.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Well.
If it's not, I don't know what it was.
See.
Then I haven't.
No, you know what? Just to stay on brand. Yeah, Dexter. Just where I was going with that.
Shut up.
Oh yeah.
They've already done a Kamehameha. They've already done a Kamehameha. Might as well stay on brand.
Are you telling me they don't say fucking?
They could
really
play
loud?
Guile's theme.
Wait. No, I got one.
They could do Guile's theme.
No. I know what they could do. I know what they could do. They could do the My Hero Academia, like, you say run theme.
All right, anyway. So, here's the... Fucking hell.
Mhm.
All right, anyway.
Sorry.
So, yeah.
You're kidding me. Sorry, go ahead.
Here's... All right, so you're like... Dude, do you guys not understand? There's already traveling Zelda orchestras that go on. Like, there's already video game orchestras.
Really?
They don't do a lot of classical music anymore because classical music doesn't sell. Like, that doesn't get people in seats. They were doing like
Sadly not.
Yeah, it doesn't get people in seats anymore. But if you do video game music, that gets people to come to the fucking theater. Like, yeah, you play Final Fantasy music, people show up. You play Zelda music, people show up. That works.
Pokemon music. Yep.
Yeah, because that's the audience now.
Yeah.
Don't you know it's time to raise our sails?
That's
knew. That's Mario.
I was gonna say that's like more big
know.
band music, but that kind of counts. So
It's
I guess
still-
that counts.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I get.
Dude,
I get
they could
you.
have like Shion or Shuna sing that.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
They
it
gotta
would
do
be
that,
Shion.
you know.
All right, anyway.
Yep. Anyway, you're kidding me. They shifted gears from classical to anime? Like it was the most natural thing in the world? That was followed by a pop tune? Yuki's eyes were no longer closed. They were open and staring right at me. Stop that, man. I'm not the culprit here. After all, that guy was, or who read my memories to create that sheet music was.
Understood. My selection
Prioritized.
Yes, I'm aware. Prioritized those pieces in my master's memory data, which provided him with the most psychological satisfaction.
Raphael seemed a little too proud in that reply.
You
but I
goddamn
couldn't make
right
any
I am.
excuses. I mean, yeah, here's a fucking like
Oh gee,
concert showing of your favorite things.
I wonder if I
Enjoy.
grabbed from your memories of which ones made you happy. And you know what? This song was associated with anime titties. Gee, I wonder if it made you happy.
Yeah. You're
Wait,
welcome.
what song?
Do you know what I was going for?
Did Sonic just
trying to think.
do the equivalent of sauce?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Can I get the
Oh,
sauce for
God.
that?
Sauce? All right, continue.
Sauce in the chat, boys.
So, pipe and a crepe, bong and a blitch.
Yes.
All right, anyway, sauce.
I couldn't make any excuses. It was going so well, too. Now the effect seemed kind of ruined. I mean, I liked these songs, yes, but hearing them played with such solemn grandeur in a concert hall just didn't seem right at all. Yuki, no doubt thinking the same thing, began to snicker a little. But it was only Yuki and I who felt jarred by this. It made sense if you thought about it, but everyone else in the audience was listening to this music for the first time. They had no idea where it came from.
Exactly.
Raphael's musical arrangements were a perfect match for the scene. They'd have nothing to be suspicious about. And whether they were used to the classics or not, I could tell they were all enwrapped with this music or with all this new music they were experiencing.
Exactly.
The orchestral pieces.
It's Corey in the house.
I mean, that's true.
Exactly. If you don't know it,
greatest anime ever.
Corey in the house. Yeah.
if you don't
It's just the
know,
instrumental.
if you don't know what it is, it just sounds beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's true. That is kind of weird.
It's kind of like if you don't actually speak Japanese, it sounds fucking epic as hell. But if you actually
guess-
understand and speak Japanese, then if you actually listen to the Japanese, it sounds fucking basic and bland.
Yeah, I guess it depends. Because
Yeah.
I mean, like, to some person,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think. Person not from the culture would be like, oh wow, this is kind of interesting. But to us, like, whatever.
Here's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, they're like, "Oh my god, the Japanese version of like the anime. It's so emotional and impactful and everything. It's so and then everybody that actually watches like anime, they're like, "You're kidding, right?" It's like, really?
It's
No.
the Evangelion.
They overact the shit out of it. It's like, yeah.
Masuka. Yeah, they don't actually go, oh, Soka.
Yeah, it's like
Gaburin Slayer des.
anyway.
Don't
Like,
actually
okay,
do
if
that.
you want to know how bad, if you want to know, all right, if you want to know how bad some of the acting is over there, just watch any episode where they actually try and do English speaking dialogue with somebody who's natural, who is not used to speaking English. Like, trust me when I say this. It's bad. It's bad. You know they could have hired somebody whose natural language is actually English. They're supposed to have American characters speaking in their native tongue of, their native language of English. Nope.
Though that is basically
It ain't.
just getting a
I think I've only ever seen
You
that.
got tired
once
of the
in anime,
ads?
Actually,
Thank you for the 23 months, Wraith. Appreciate it.
Mm,
I get tired of the ads.
thank you.
Tier 1.
Mm,
thank you so much.
Continue on.
Thank
Sorry.
you. Okay. The orchestral pieces dominated the hall, and the crowd was perfectly quiet as they sat there at full attention. The music from Beethoven, Mozart, Chopin, Tchaikovsky, Wagner, and other anonymous geniuses were charming the nobility of this world. I had to call this concert a great success. Anyone in attendance for this performance had to admit it. Even if played by monsters, these tones, these melodies, were sheer beauty. Even the anime tracks in their capable hands compared favorably with the historical classics, and the pop music grabbed your heart like it's supposed to. The rock revved you up like it's meant to. Thus, with enthusiasm taking hold among the audience, the final selection came to a close.
Could you imagine if it
could I
started
continue?
going into Let It Go?
No. I mean, it could. Theoretically, it could have.
Yeah, keep going.
But no. Okay.
You got 2 more minutes. Keep going.
It's over? The concert lasted only 60 minutes, but it felt so packed, like an eternity had passed. We had planned to end things here. Molly Mile told me he had arranged for an hour-long set in the morning and afternoon. Much of the audience wouldn't know a great deal about music, so we opted for shorter sets to keep their attention, without an intermission. This was an experiment for all of us, so we put these measures in place to keep the procedure as simple as possible. I was only briefed on this. The details were all worked out by the people in front of me. I was proud of them. Standing up tall, I was about to celebrate their success with as much applause as I could muster, when Baton bowed and swung his director's stick. Instantly, all the lighting was extinguished. The crowd began to nervously murmur, but it lasted only a moment. Then the spotlight was turned on a single onstage figure, a touchingly sweet woman with light pink hair. Shuna. She was in a sleeveless party dress, bursting with an allure you didn't often see from her, and there was another with her, a beauty with purple hair lit by another spotlight. Is that Shion? I didn't recognize her at first, what with the slip dress she had on instead of her usual business suit. Shion stood there like a fantastic vision, as if lit by the moon. Her dress took on a transparent feel depending on the light, revealing a sexier side you didn't often feel from her. She really was a dignified beauty, until she opened her mouth at least, and this presentation further accentuated that beauty. They went up to the front and in their respective spotlight and bowed deeply. That alone captured your attention, like a fine work of art. But seriously, what were they about to do here? They had to think it, but the spotlight moved, and Shuna moved with it to the piano, one that sat in place untouched the whole performance. Shion, meanwhile, picked up a violin. There was no longer any doubt. They were about to play a duet. Shuna, maybe I could picture as a pianist, but Shion at the violin? Were we really safe, having her play in front of such an influential audience? I recalled the assorted disasters she had engineered with her food in the past, and if her musical skill matched that, it could spell doom for us all. Or maybe not? I mean, there was no way Shuna would allow that. Molly Mile seemed so confident too, didn't he? He was virtually staking his life on this whole event, and I doubted he'd let Shion throw a monkey wrench into the works. Let's believe in them. I closed my eyes, still a bit wary as I waited for the performance. It began with a slow piano tune accompanied by an intense, impassioned violin melody. Then suddenly the tone changed. In a way, it felt more like a duel than a duet. But the extreme force behind Shion's melody seemed to reflect her own disposition, and Shuna's piano playing, much like Shuna herself, gently enveloped it. The intensity and softness intermingled, accentuating each other in impressive harmony.
Stop.
Ah, yeah. Gotcha.
Yep. Also, I see someone redeemed Callie from the Valley, so
in just a minute.
Starting off strong.
In just a minute. Also, yes, you do get a picture. It's at the very beginning of the book. It's in color right here in the beginning, so you'll have to go find it on your own. All right, go ahead.
That was good. This was good. I drowned in the waves, a profoundly expressive sound, shaken to my very soul. It was like life-altering. This was different. It wasn't something you could accomplish with stopgaps. This was the result of innate discipline. It made sense given Shuna's roots as an oracle and Shion's role in protecting her. Music is an indispensable part of any religious rite, and maybe that's why Shuna and Shion's melody seemed to hit me right in the heart.
Okay,
It
done.
was beautiful.
That was amazing.
I know. Silence. The dreamlike moment was over. It seemed like forever, but not even 5 minutes had passed. When I snapped out of it, I attempted to give them thunderous applause, but before I could, I heard staccato clapping break the quiet. Darn, I was hoping to be first, but I had the rug taken out from under me. I joined the clapping, craning my neck to see whose lead I was following. Shockingly, it was Luminous, disguised as a maid in the employ of the 2 paladins in attendance. She heartily applauded the performers, looking gloriously satisfied. I tried to keep up, and soon other clapping overlapped with ours. The reaction was cacophonous. Elmesia, heavenly emperor of Thalion, Gazelle, king of the Dwarven kingdom, all the nobility of the western nations, Milim and Frey, even Midray, a man I wouldn't expect to be very cultured. They all stood up and sent out their applause. This tradition of clapping was the same in this world, it seemed. I wasn't sure if a long-gone otherworlder had brought it in or if it was just always that way. What I did quickly learn, however, was that this world didn't have a custom of giving encores. Public artistry in itself wasn't a common thing, so I suppose that should have been obvious. Thus, I assumed we were done here, but apparently not. Darkness fell on the hall once more. Before the entire stage was relit and the orchestra, with Shuna's piano and Shion's violin this time, played one final song to round things out. Music, and art in general, has a way of tearing down barriers. Seeing this concert unfold, I wanted to believe, for just a moment, that there's things out there that everyone in the world truly can find wondrous.
The concert... Goofy.
God damn it. The concert was a monster hit. It was the only topic on visitors' lips as we retired to the reception for a light lunch. Wasn't that just wonderful? What can I say? I had my eyes closed, taking it... taking it in from start to finish. Me too. And who cares whether it was man or monster? Those melodies are still in my ears. Indeed, quality is quality. That's all there is to it. Based on my eavesdropping, it sounded like high praise, and at least one member of the crowd was going up to me now. Sir Rimuru, I would very much like to hear this performance again. What can I do to gain such an opportunity if I could? We'll be holding the concert regularly over the next 3 days, I told him, but I suppose we should consider a more regular performing schedule. Our song repertoire wasn't that vast yet, but I was sure it'd grow going forward. Having more chances to show it off would provide more practice motivation besides. That was a fine performance, Luminous whispered. Oh, whisper. That was a fine performance, Luminous whispered to me as we passed by in the hall. I enjoyed it more than I expected to. Quite a compliment, I thought. She didn't strike me as the sort to offer praise freely. I should probably consider that a 5-star review. Shion was certainly a surprise. I commented to Benimaru. I'm sure she was, but, well, despite all appearances, Shion has always had a good sense of rhythm. She certainly seemed extraordinarily compatible with that violin instrument as well. And Shuna, too. I didn't know she could play piano, but she always did enjoy singing. It does not surprise me. It all made sense to him. He apparently knew they were good singers, and come to think of it, I remember them breaking out a happy tune or two as they went about their business. It made me realize, despite my intentions, that I still didn't really know everyone very well. After lunch, we had our science presentation scheduled for the afternoon. I followed Riegard as he guided the crowd of nobility, still keyed up from the morning's events.
Oh, shit.
Hydrate.
Mm-hmm.
I just remembered what's coming up next in the earful that he's going to get from this.
Oh, God.
Oh, is Frey finally going to give him the business?
Huh?
Is Frey finally going to give him the business about hiding Gnome there?
No.
We passed by the concert hall from before, this time heading straight for the museum. Our destination was the historical archives inside, as much as it seemed odd for nobility to be in there. Gabiru and Vester awaited us at the entrance. Being a former Dwargen minister, Vester was immediately recognizable to a few in the crowd, eliciting murmurs of surprise. Vester himself paid it no mind, flashing a smile as he greeted the tour. The two of them guided us into the building. Inside this case is the first healing potion that Sir Rimuru ever created. It is a complete extraction from Hippocte herbs, with all impurities removed. It boasts 99% purity, and while it is not quite up to the level of a revival elixir, its healing qualities are equivalent to a full potion. I listened to Vester talk as we went along. Then I realized we had made a mistake. Vester was offering valid, thorough guidance, yes, but to those without scientific knowledge, it must have been incredibly boring. I could already see a few people tuning him out, staring at the ceiling. That, and we had scheduled this all wrong. If we held the tech demo in the morning, everyone would be awake, refreshed, and perhaps more open to this guided tour. I didn't think we'd have so much disengagement anyway. But thanks to the thrill of that morning concert, all this scientific mumbo-jumbo must seem like such a letdown. Besides, think about it. We were entertaining people from royal courts and noble mansions. They might care about the things we produced, but with most of them, they couldn't care less about how they were made. Vester must have picked up on this. He snickered a bit. But I see I am bogging all of you down in needless details. Let's turn our attention elsewhere, then, and stage a scientific experiment. He exchanged a look with Gabiru, who nodded back. In this experiment... Wait, is that Gabiru? I don't care. In this experiment, we will pursue what healing potion is exactly, as much as we can. Diluting this full potion to 20% strength creates high potion, used to treat serious injuries. Dilute this further, and you create 20 doses of low potions. That should show you just how effective a full potion can be. Gabiru lined up bottles of all 3 potions on a table. If any of us is currently dealing with an injury, he said, we would be able to test out the effectiveness of each potion. But it would be barbaric to hurt ourselves for the sake of experimentation. Thus, we have come up with rather an interesting experiment. As he spoke, Vester brought in a broken sword. So, will a potion fix this sword? That's Gabiru. So, will a potion fix this sword? Asked Gabiru. Does one of you have the answer to that question? Rubbish! Hippocrate herbs only work on living things. The shouted reply came from a man dressed in magician's garb, perhaps the court sorcerer for one kingdom or another. He totally dismissed the idea, and it looked like he had the intelligence to back up that answer. Gabiru laughed and nodded. Yes, of course. At the very least, there is no way this low or high potion could ever be effective against a sword. That much was obvious. There wasn't much need to stage an experiment. What was Gabiru and Vester for that matter, getting at with this question? So the question is, how far does that rule apply? What do all of you think? More protests from the crowd. They must have thought Gabiru and Vester were treating them like idiots. Things were even getting a little raucous. I know this wasn't what they were expecting, but sheesh, pipe down. But how far could you apply healing potions, huh? Well, they worked on people, of course, as well as animals, plants, and monsters. Where's the threshold, then? The boundary between effective and ineffective? This was actually kind of fascinating. Is being alive, or not, the main thing? Probably not. It was the presence of a consciousness that likely made the difference.
Report. Plants have a consciousness as well. A consciousness has its roots in the soul, a collection of the spiritual particles that form magicules. The presence, or lack thereof, is thought to be the difference.
Right. Plants have wills. Maybe they're not fully sentient, but they have a desire to keep living. But swords don't have souls, and therefore no wills. They're just things, so obviously... But hang on. Something just occurred to me. Didn't Kaijin say that swords do have wills of their own? No way. I would like to know as well. And the desire to know provides the entryway to new discoveries. Indeed. And trust me, I ordered him to not conduct this ridiculous experiment at first. I called him a fool in my mind, for that matter. But I was the only fool in the room. I was so bound by the laws of common sense, I forgot my original drives as a researcher. Vester smiled warmly as he sprinkled some full potion on the broken sword. Then, just a little. But enough so that everyone could see the sword reacted. And here's the answer. While it does not fully rebuild the sword, we are clearly seeing the early signs of repair here. Ridiculous! I can't believe it! Healing potion could be used for this? The tour group couldn't hide their astonishment. I could see why. It flew in the face of common sense. You'd have a hard time not being surprised, and that included me. I had no idea they were conducting experiments not even I could anticipate the results of. They didn't give me any report on this, which only added to the shock. Of course, you will only see these effects on arms and armor that matured past a certain level. The weapon must be made of magisteel at the very least, and it will not give a reaction unless it has been used regularly by its owner. Ah, so it'd have no effect unless the sword had a will instilled in it. Why? Gaziel asked. Gaziel asked Gabiru in his low stentorian voice. Did you want to know something like that? It's simple, my lord. I found it difficult to believe that plants and vegetation growing in the wild have wills of their own. And after experimentation, we found that healing potions worked perfectly fine on them. Now that we had full potion mass manufacturing underway, there was a decent quantity to work with. Thus, they had been trying it on all sorts of things. Certainly, the desire to learn was the first step toward new discoveries. I recalled the experiments we did in grade school science class, challenging ourselves to do things that seemed pointless at first. Gabiru had the same spirit. The first things to just try it out. So it worked on plants, restoring damaged tree bark and producing new buds from broken branches. I then remembered the existence of dryads, Gabiru said. Vegetation may have only a weak consciousness at first, but over many months and years of life, they can evolve into powerful monsters, can they not? But as I thought, this may only happen under certain conditions. Around half the audience was taking a keen interest in this explanation. I'd expect the more quick-witted among them to be fascinated, yes. This was the kind of research I'd normally want to keep confidential, after all. Should I let Gabiru keep going? The thought, as mean-spirited as it felt, crossed my mind, but I hurriedly brushed it away as I listened on. The only things that react to healing potions are those already intertwined with magicules. Things with no magicules to them at all show no reaction to our testing. What this means is that magicules house consciousness itself, or at least the two are deeply related. Yes, and when Sir Gabiru presented these data, it led me to reconsider my thoughts as well. Soon a question arose in my mind. What are magicules? Magicules were one of the world's unique substances, freely spread around the atmosphere like oxygen. They were the engine for all kinds of mysterious forces, and people could wield them to do their bidding to some extent. So we have a sample from a certain plant here, and over in this other room, I can show you an enlarged picture of it. We followed Vester to another room, a large, spacious chamber with chairs lined up in rows, something like an AV-equipped college lecture hall. It had a projector, still in the trial testing phases, and there was a stretched-out white sheet on the wall to serve as a screen. Gazel curiously observed the projector, but remained politely quiet about it, realizing now was not the time. That's Gazel for you, mature enough to pick the right time and place. Once everyone was seated, Gabiru turned on the projector, a device with light-based magic inscriptions that let it project color images on the screen. The chamber's lights dimmed as the image appeared, surprising a few in the audience. Take a look at this image, Vester said, ignoring the chatter. It shows the structure of the plant sample you saw before, and this is the structure of some grass, the type you see growing anywhere. He placed the enlarged images next to each other. I didn't get why Vester was acting so haughty here. A certain plant, and so on. What's his aim? Are they not the same? Or, are they not the same? I don't see any difference. No, me neither. Why aren't they the same? The voices in the crowd were met with wide agreement. A few of them weren't as sure. That part is different. No, that part is different. But I doubted any of them were on the mark. So what was the answer? Now let's enlarge these further. What do you think? They look just the same, don't they? Vester and Gabiru flashed villainous smiles, and then they revealed the trick. The plant in the first picture is Hippocte herb. The second one is a simple weed we picked from a lawn in town. Do they look the same to you? Vester's question made things begin to dawn on some of the audience. What they saw unnerved them. Hurriedly, they spoke up. They aren't the same. The difference is clear if you look closer. That's mean of you, sir. That's mean of you, Sir Vester. How can we tell the difference just from those images? Hippocate was a rare herb. Hippocate was a rare herb. I dined on quite a bit of it in the cave Veldora was sealed in. It's famously the core ingredient of healing potions. Most would assume it's structured far differently from the grass you step on every day, but a few people, myself included, found Vester's question very disturbing. Gazelle was one of them. I could see the blood drain from his face. We were showing that Hippocate and regular grass were both structured in the same way, proof that, essentially, they were the same. It begged the question of what, exactly, constituted a rare herb, which in turn had the potential to overturn common sense itself. Vester lifted his arms up high, the sinister smile still on his face. Quiet, quiet, please. He and Gabiru waited for things to settle down. When they did, he placed a series of images on the projector. Squeezing the extract from Hippocate and combining its magicules together creates healing potion. The level of this fusion process, as you all know, depends on the properties of the extract produced. And while we cannot go into details, we have successfully refined this extraction process to a purity level of 99%. That is how a full potion is made. Through a variety of images, while still hiding the core technology, Vester explained the potion-making process. Now we move on to Hippocate leaves. Grinding these leaves and combining their magicules produces a salve that can close wounds. Although the effect is not dramatic, this makes sense, since these ground leaves are simply the leavings from the extraction process. An image of a leaf filled the screen. The leaf was shown being ground, then mixed with the extract from before to create an ointment. The basic process behind it. Nothing unnatural. I didn't get where Vester was going with it. Now everyone, look at this image. On one side, you had leaves from Hippocate herbs grown in our cave. On the other was regular grass. They looked totally different. There was no way they'd have the same organic structure. But as the images flashed by, changes began to occur in the Hippocate side. Do you see? I only came to notice out of sheer coincidence. Sir Rimuru has ordered me to work on our Hippocate cultivation project. But one day, I took an interest in the strained leaves from our extraction process. Making ointment from it is well and good, but it has to be kept under exacting conditions or it quickly loses its effect. Plus, compared to the liquid extract used to make potions, its effect is extremely weak. I didn't give it much thought, since we had other uses for the extract, but if you think about it, do we really need this ointment? So as I said, I began to look at the strained leaves, and then Gabiru realized that the shape of these post-extraction leaves, now free of magicules, was different from the Hippocate currently growing in the cave. Shocked, Gabiru decided to take more detailed records, resulting in the images he was showing us now. So at the conclusion of all this, we found that technically speaking, there is no such thing as a Hippocate plant. The plant we call Hippocate are actually mutations. Yes, exclaimed an excited Vester. And it's not that Hippocate grows in magicule-rich areas. It's that magicule concentration itself that causes this mutation and creates Hippocate from simple grass. I could see why he was excited. Everyone who heard him immediately began talking. That's a major discovery. Sir Vester, this is not the type of thing to announce in a place like this. There could have been some more appropriate occasion. You must contact a scientific society or the like at once and follow the proper announcement procedure.
Oh, go fuck yourself.
It was chaos inside the room. Even those who didn't take much interest before couldn't stay silent now.
Isn't that
and the audience members who had been...
picture? That's it. Season 3, the refinement of the dank kush.
Hell yeah, that'll be great.
This is how we do it, boys.
Oh, yeah, blazing it up, man.
It's like the ultimate dank kush. It's like.
In real bake.
We can't show you all the trade secrets, but we can show you how we refine it.
The good kush. It's only $1. How good could it be?
How good could it be?
Good.
Even those who didn't take much interest before couldn't stay silent now, and the audience members who had been paying attention from the start were even more astounded. It was beyond anything they imagined, and the not the type of thing to announce remark symbolized just how much it roiled the crowd. Gazelle, too, had his eyes wide open, and even Elmesia and Erold were discussing matters with each other. I was surprised, too. I never gave it much thought before, but the way they put it, it made sense. It was pretty obvious, in fact. I doubted Veldora just happened to be sealed off in a cave full of Hippocrate herbs. If that was the result of a mutation or plant evolution, that was more convincing. And once all the magicules were extracted from this plant during processing, its shape went back to the plain old grass it once was. The dried strain samples projected on the screen made it obvious that they shared the same organic structure as regular grass. In which case, no wonder Gabiru thought potions could heal swords. Metal might mutate into Magisteel ore, just like grass mutated into Hippocrate, and it was that ore that was processed to make Magisteel weapons. But the pieces together, and anyone would wonder if put the pieces together, and anyone would wonder if healing potions could work on Magisteel as well. The result, the experiment we saw earlier.
Motherfucker. They're literally, this is literally Breaking Bad in fucking slime.
Yep.
Oh, that's amazing.
This is Jesse and
hey, Vester, what do you think would happen if we put a potion on a Magisteel sword? Gabiru, what the fuck are you talking about?
Vester is the one who knocks.
What are you talking about?
Vester is the danger.
I am the danger.
Gabiru threw a pizza on the cave.
Oh, that's great.
Gabiru threw a pizza on the cave.
Just
Walter Jr. Fucking even Gabiru Jr. handles walkers better than you.
Los Diablos Hermanos.
Oh, man.
It's just the logo of Benimaru and Soy standing back to back like.
We are not the same. Better call Soe.
Okay.
That's a good one. Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Seriously, I'm Better Call Saul.
Yep.
I now
That's
want
gotta be like a mini-series they have in the
I now
show.
want a picture of Soe like adjusting his tie and it just says Better Call Soe.
I bet he looked damn good in fucking lawyer attire.
Fucking
Oh, that would be
I just want a picture of fucking
Zoe.
no, of fucking Gabiru sitting there at a table with a steak eating dinner with the DEA. God damn it. Are you gonna make a dude smoothie? God damn it. Breaking slime. Oh man. Oh man. Oh.
Oh man. Oh god. Oh man.
Oh man. All right, continuing on. Jesus. All right. Sorry. I told you what they're doing. They're literally breaking science in this world. They are like breaking science right here. Go for it.
Fixing good.
My original question, Vester continued, of the exact nature of magicules remains unanswered. Monsters and Magicborn are exposed to the effects of these magicules. That much is evident. But what about demi-humans? If you took all the magicules out of their body, would they go back to being humans? I have boundless questions along these lines, but investigating them could prove fiendishly difficult. Despite this, we intend to continue our research, and in this land, where some of the world's greatest minds are gathering, we promise to keep pursuing the answers. And with that, we close our science presentation. To everyone who came out to attend, thank you very much. Gabiru and Vester bowed and spoke in perfect sync. They must have worked the presentation out in pretty deep detail. I don't think this was the first time they'd run through this lecture. The content, however, was excellent. I had left it all to them, but it really grabbed your attention. And what's more, it spread the word about great discoveries while keeping all the key parts a secret. Most important of all, we didn't have to worry about anyone copying our technology with what we revealed. Changing the nature of plants with magicules was a grand discovery. but it wasn't something other nations could easily replicate. They could experiment with it, but it wouldn't let them mass-produce Hippocte or anything. Our position of superiority remained firm, and our research continued. As Gabiru said, great minds were gathering here, and we'd have more before long. In a land so blessed with magicules as this one, we could do all the experimentation we wanted.
Jesus Christ. Oh. Jesus Christ, Rimuru. Do you not fucking understand just how much trouble you just got yourself into? You're like, we can do all this research. Everyone in this whole fucking presentation is now just fucking pissed at you. Mm-hmm. Like, everyone is now looking at you and going, what did you just do? Do you understand what you just did? This presentation, you literally just pissed off the entire scientific community. And all the world leaders were here listening to this.
Good.
Yeah.
Overall,
you literally just told the G20 summit about nukes. You dumb motherfucker. All right.
I mean, technically he didn't, but you know, still.
Kind of. By the way, we're researching the nuclear bomb. What?
What?
The what?
No, I'm sorry. The hydrogen bomb.
All right.
Oh.
Continue.
Overall, this scientific presentation was a major shock to the attendees.
No shit.
After a morning spent enjoying fine music, this afternoon stimulated their intellectual curiosities.
Jesus Christ.
I'd leave it to the audience to decide which was more enriching, but given how much interest both events generated, I'd definitely call them a success.
Best of Pog.
A lot of the audience seemed bored at first. I worried that we should have swapped the order out in retrospect, but it appeared I was worried over nothing. In fact, maybe this was the right order after all. We certainly fulfilled our main goal of making the movers and shakers in the audience interested in us. I internally resolved to give Gabiru Investor unbridled praise the next time I had the chance.
He's about to catch an earful.
Oh boy.
He's about to catch an earful.
After the presentation came some free activity time. A number of our VIPs would relax at our salon, while others would pursue our food stalls incognito. A few would savor the hot spring bath, and others would enjoy checking out our amusement facilities. Each one of them had their own guide, so they were free to pursue their own interests. They were all abuzz about the concert and science presentation, too, reportedly spreading praise about them to everyone they spoke to around town. As I watched them take in the festival, I saw Arnaud and Bacchus come up to me, looking concerned. "We need to talk," Arnaud whispered to me. It sounded like something important, so I brought Benimaru and Shion along and guided them to a room in the reception hall. There we saw Luminous. I'd suspected we would, given how agitated the paladin seemed, and I was right. She was in her maid dress, seated with her legs crossed. The juxtaposition of her pale skin and the black garter belts and stockings was, frankly, hot. Arnaud and Bacchus stood bolt upright behind her. The sight of them serving this maid was a surreal role reversal, but it actually fit her well. Luminous's powerful aura at work, I imagine. "Now," she began before I could talk or even sit down, "we have a treaty of nano-aggression in place."
Non-aggression.
But
non-aggression.
Oh, non-aggression. Nano-aggression.
Very different.
Non-aggression in place, but that will not be enough.
Stop.
I always knew she was impatient.
Stop.
Emma time.
Bulk.
Alrighty, Shem, you're back in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Sonic.
I thought it was gonna.
We're gonna try and finish up this chapter in the last 30 minutes.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's be just more Pokemon.
Oh God.
Okay. I always knew she was impatient, but not this impatient. Exasperated, I helped myself to a chair. Something told me I wasn't about to get invited to a seat. Not enough how? How else? It lacks interaction. We cannot make contact with each other. How will we ever have interaction? I don't see why we can't. I organized the situation in my mind as I thought over what Luminous meant. As she said, there was a non-aggression pact between the Holy Empire Libellius and Tempest. The Western Holy Church was a part of Libellius, which also helped boost our position with the Western nations. I really appreciated that, but in terms of interaction, she was right. We had virtually no diplomatic relations. We were just too physically distant from each other. There was no national level trade. Any circulation of goods was left to market principles, with whatever merchants or nations wanted to be involved. We weren't completely cut off from trade, though. I'd actually asked Molly Mall to send a few traveling peddlers in their direction. Why wait for Libelius when we could take actions ourselves? We were conducting basic market research, and I had already gotten a report of products and goods that the Holy Empire specialized in. That report told me that Libelius was an agricultural giant, producing great quantities of crops, primarily wheat, exporting much of it to the Western nations. I looked at a sample, and it was very high quality, tasty too. I was hoping to import some, in fact, but as mentioned, the distance involved made it tough. Before we started talking about more formal trade, I wanted to see the problem dealt with first. So that's where we were now. I wanted to deepen our relationships or our relations in the future, but if you asked me what could be done right this minute, I couldn't give you anything. You inconsiderate clod. Are you toying with me? No, that's not it at all. Luminous gave my harried reply an irritated sigh. When I say interaction, I mean cultural interaction. Frankly, I underestimated all of them. The people under our protection in Libelius lack a great deal in the way of artistic talent. Meanwhile, although I expected little, your musical presentation earlier was impressive. I've reconsidered my views of you today. Whoa, heaps of praise. She had a few kind words for me as we passed each other earlier, but I guess she really did like that concert. That, and now I understood her. Today's musical performance finally made her recognize our talents. I imagine Luminous had some kind of musical band, and presumably she was talking about an international exchange with its members to help improve both of us. There are some among the vampires who are artistically inclined. They carry on the heritage of our old music while working on new creative endeavors, but lately they've been stuck in a rut. I think some input from visiting creators of your realm would be a fine catalyst. I had it right on the mark, and really I appreciated the request. An experience like this always enriches the heart and mind. And if you want to improve your cultural activity, interacting with other people was the best inspiration you could feed on. I like that idea. We couldn't ask for anything better. I had no reason to turn her down, so I readily agreed. Looking at our future relations, besides, it was bound to have more positive impact than it bad. Very good. I will make sure things proceed along those lines. She gave me a satisfied nod, just as she did. An elderly servant placed some tea in front of us. Gunter, I think his name was, just as strong as Louis Valentine, but also one talented servant. Diablo was the same way, come to think of it. Who knew butlers were such lean, mean fighting machines in this world? And now other servants were bringing drinks to Benny Morrow and Shion behind me. They weren't delayed. It was just that the impatient Luminous summoned me so quickly that they couldn't keep up. Luminous gave them a cold nod, a sign of strict master-servant relationship, I thought, but isn't that great? Now you can enjoy that music too soon. It sounded pompous as she spoke to her attendants, but they didn't take it that way, saying, "Thank you very much, and I look forward to it," in return. They looked happy enough to me, so they definitely meant it. Their attitude to Luminous was based on respect, it seemed, not fear. I found it odd at first, and then I looked closer and realized they were all vampires. Their auras were wholly shut off, and their powers were restrained to the point that they were indiscernible from regular people. They were high-level vampires, I imagined, given how close they were to Luminous. Just a few of them here alone could easily topple an entire nation, I'm sure, and here they were serving tea to us. The world can be one irrational place sometimes. Now, Gunter, carry out the necessary details when we return to Night Garden. Yes, my lord. Luminous nodded and took an elegant, silent sip of tea. A beautiful showcase of manners, one you'd want to teach to a debutante, Ah, yes, she brightly said as I stared and rapped at her. That scientific presentation was quite interesting as well. Dissecting the effects of magicals is quite a fascinating idea to come up with. There are those on my staff with a rather odd interest in research. I was thinking we could send them here, but would you mind that? I asked for some more details. The way she put it, there was still little in the way of culture civilization among the humans who lived on the surface of Libelius. But the underground mainland boasted a fairly decent level of technology. Oh? That's surprising. I thought you wouldn't be so secretive with all that. I dislike causing trouble for myself. If we were too conspicuous, we feared that a cursed lizard would find us, remember? I hardly want the angels interfering with us either. That's why I've had all our major research moved underground, until we can fully eradicate them. She seemed proud of herself. The way she framed it, Luminous was the most powerful political ruler among all the demon lords. She was a vampire, so essentially immortal, with a lifespan transcending even that of elves. The more powerful among her kind didn't even need to eat, capable of sustaining themselves via minute doses of life energy from human beings. There was no doubting the fact that vampires sat atop the food chain, and even they had their deficiencies. Vampires were called rulers of the night for good reason. They could wield untold powers in the darkness, but exposure to sunlight wiped them off the planet. It was a huge weakness, but even with it, they remained incredibly dangerous. But again, the more powerful among this advanced race, some among the noble classes under Luminous, could apparently overcome this weakness against the sun. These were called overcomers, and they could pretty much go around by day and do whatever they pleased. There were very few of them, which was a good thing, since a vampire without weaknesses would be a nightmare for humanity. Definitely a calamity level threat, if not as much a one as Louis or Gunter. The servants here were overcomers as well. They served Luminous as a sort of hobby, it seemed, with, of course, a heavy nuance of being her bodyguards. Being an overcomer meant having no weak points and therefore a lot of free time on your hands. That was why so many of them enjoyed making assorted things for fun. They'd craft all sorts of junk, in fact, hoping to win Luminous's affections. To be honest, she said to me, it's dreadfully irritating. I have ordered them to develop something more useful, but they're too fixated on their own ideas, I suppose. They've made no progress whatsoever. I would love for you to take them in and give them a little education. I wouldn't mind that, but of course, I'd have qualms about the whole thing unless I got to meet Luminous's candidates. Being an overcomer meant enjoying life in the ruling class. Someone like them traveling to Tempest for study could lead to problems I had no way of predicting in advance. Luminous, perhaps seeing my indecision, made another offer. I'm not asking you to work for free, of course. Perhaps I could offer a skill to you. A skill? Yes, the secret skills of faith and favor. What's that? That sounds really cool. Or at least cooler than the kinds of skills I came up with for myself, such as relearning how to get drunk. What? I mean, yeah. What are those? Oh, it's quite simple. She gave me an evil, complacent smile. It allows those faithful to you to harness some of your powers. Whoa,
God.
That sounds dangerous. If she taught me this all around all these people...
Report. Luminous has used spatial severance to isolate your location.
Ooh. Raphael neatly
I just like the idea
out.
of... Sorry, I was just like, the secret skill of like the whole thing. It's like, what's that? It's like, what? Oh, she just hands you a pair of shoes. These are how you utilize the skill. It's just a fucking like old meme-based shoes. Like, are you serious?
Okay, 146.
That's how you use your power. Damn it.
146 is technically the end of the chapter, and then we have an interlude that takes us to the actual end of the chapter. So,
gotcha.
All right, so let's go.
Okay, Raphael neatly pointed it out, cutting me off before I could get worked up. That would explain why I couldn't hear anyone besides ourselves right now. She really was a pillar among the strongest of demon lords. Setting off skills just came naturally to her. So you'll teach me this in exchange for allowing your students to come here to live for a while? Am I understanding that right? You are. I would be happy enough to have a cultural exchange with our musicians alone. In a way, this is my token of thanks to you. She didn't appear to be lying. All right, I'll take your offer. Then we have a deal. We did. She'd have her musicians train here, and I'd have my secret skills of faith and favor. To put it simply, these skills were the principles behind all holy magic. It involved me using my name as a vessel in order to cast spells. Hinata and the Paladins, for example, could wield holy magic by using Luminous's name as a vessel, borrowing a bit of her power with each use. If I could learn the trick behind it, more of the people under me could gain access to holy magic. Surprising. It seemed like I was getting a lot out of the bargain. Luminous being Luminous, of course, I knew she had calculated all this. That sounds great to me, but are you sure about this? Oh, I don't mind. You are likely to discover the truth of it for yourself in a few years' time anyway. It is best to take advantage of information while it is still valuable, is it not? ... Ah, I thought. All right. And judging by Raphael's pained silence, it wouldn't have even been a few years.
Nope.
We were researching the nature of magicals, and after Hinata's battle,
probably a week or two.
Literally,
at the rate they're going, they're going to get computers.
And
they
it's
are
probably
so
like,
close.
as soon as he heard the skill name, he's like, all right, I'm going to figure out how that works.
Literally, let me tell you what they're about to start researching in the next book. Magitrains.
Computers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like big ass fucking
literally,
technology.
literally, funny story. They're
Mhm.
they're about to say fuck steam engines because literally, what are they talking about right now? Oh, the fundamentals of magicules. Okay, so they're about to see if they can create a set of trains that run on magicules.
So
Let me
are
tell
they
you
just
the
gonna
name of the
skip straight to
game,
the bullet
boy.
train?
They're gonna try and see if they can make a set of bullet trains or maglev trains that run on magicules.
We
Beautiful.
call
Yeah.
it
All aboard
riding the
slimy train.
magic train. Yep.
Magic trains.
Good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Wait.
Beautiful.
Yes.
That's their next
Lovely.
research project.
Yep. That's a big fucking endeavor, but
Right?
they're there. So yeah, just
They
let's
have the
make an
technology.
international fucking public transportation via fucking locomotive magic nonsense. Holy
Well,
shit.
I mean, they've started setting up the foundations and they're already creating
I know, like
they've
magic
set,
stone.
well,
So
not that. They've started putting down the roads and stuff, but they're also putting down railway. And this isn't for like just basic transportation. This is not for commercial transportation. This is for industrial transportation. This is for like getting goods to and from places very quickly. This isn't for travel yet. This is for shipping goods.
industry.
This is for
Yeah.
industry. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's big.
This
Hell
isn't
yeah.
this is for industrial use, not commercial use. That may happen later,
Not yet.
but you know. Yeah.
Rimuru train tours. They probably do that at some
The
point.
choo-choo
Anyway.
station.
Choo-choo. Yeah.
Choo-choo.
Oh,
All right,
I
anyway.
get it.
Yeah.
We
All
were
right, going on. Keep going.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shoot.
We were researching the nature of magicals, and after Hinata's battle, we already knew the existence of spiritual particles. Put those together, and the truth would have come naturally to us. Well, not to me, but to Raphael, certainly. Yep. And Luminous, spotting this, simply offered it while she was still able to extract something from me for it. Well, even so, I appreciate it, Luminous. As long as you keep your side of the bargain, all is well. Attempting negotiation with Luminous was still too heavy a task for me. This time, it didn't hurt me, but I'd have to think things through more carefully from now on. I mused over this as I shook hands with her. Thus, our budding orchestra would be traveling to Night Garden shortly, while the noble overcomers serving Luminous would be coming here for research purposes. Once Luminous deactivated spatial severance, we relaxed a bit, as if nothing had happened. I kicked back and enjoyed my tea, listening as Luminous gave me her review of the morning's concert. It seemed like she was more enthusiastic about exchanges of the musical and not scientific sort. Most of her questions involved our orchestra and when we could get them over to her. Then at the end, by the way, Rimuru, there were some rather disagreeable people among the dignitaries you invited. Were you aware of them? She acted casual about this, her tone unchanged. I wondered what she meant for a moment, but it had to be her way of warning me about something. I guess it wasn't my imagination after all. Ah, yes, that pair? If you don't shirk your duty and keep your wits about you with them, then very well. But I do hope you will make efforts not to denigrate the good name of the Octogram. That was her way of signaling the end of our conversation. I nodded at her and took my leave. After my spontaneous conversation with Luminous ended, it was time for dinner. Whatever reason, Yuki, Hinata, and I were assigned to the same table. They were all smiles with each other, busily discussing the day's events and virtually drooling at all the food brought in. I could hardly wait to dig in myself as I listened to their reflections. There were two choices available for the evening's courses, Japanese and Western. Hinata went for Japanese while Yuki and I picked Western. I tell you, Yuki began, that was a seriously incredible performance. You really should have checked it out, Hinata. The food stalls will be open later, you know. Don't tell me what to do. I achieved what I set out to do today. What's the problem? Besides, the takoyaki was so good. And her voice went down to whisper when she started making excuses. But, really though, you guys went with Alias? I averted my eyes from Hinata, pretending to have no idea what she was talking about. But no, I mean it. It's really worth listening to. I mean, I quite like that one song already, but hearing it arranged for an orchestra, it just blew me away. Nice one, Yuki. His unbridled praise for Baton and company had successfully diverted Hinata's attention. All right, she said, not sounding that peeved. If you're going on about it that much, I'll take the kids there tomorrow. Hinata, for her part, seemed to make the most of today, throwing her money up and down the festival, much to my appreciation. Clothes, weapons, armor, magic items, she bought it all, and marked up festival prices too. She also made her way up and down the food stalls, and honestly, I think she took the kids just as an excuse to stuff herself. They loved her though, it sounded like, so I couldn't complain at all, especially since she had already volunteered to watch them the next day. Personally, I'm more interested in the research into magicals, Hinata continued, lowering her voice again. Healing potions don't really work on me, because my body breaks down the magicals. And actually, there's some healing magics that work on me and some that don't. She had apparently done a bit of research on her own to see if there was any potion out there that worked on her. Having the ability to annul magic applied to her sounded good on paper, but the more you thought about it, the more inconveniences it created. Yeah, I haven't thought about it. Huh? Or, I'm affected by magicals too, I guess, so when you jump between worlds, you take in a vast amount of energy. Sometimes these manifest as skills, and sometimes it results in nothing. Like with you, Yuki, but you're right, you're still affected by them. You haven't grown at all, for one. Whoa, don't put it that way. I haven't grown, no, but I've done a lot in my years here, I know. You don't have to get worked up every time I mention it. I'm just picking on you. Maybe Hinata was just picking on him, but with those imposing eyes of hers, when she said stuff like that with her sharpened glare and joyless face, it really didn't sound much like a joke. All right, but, Rimuru, I'm fascinated by the directions you're taking your research here. I appreciated the compliment, but Yuki was really thinking too much of me. Oh, that's Yuki. No, that was really all Gabiru and Vesta's own work. I only learned about it the same time all of you did. Oh? Didn't you order them to do that research? Hinata asked. And you let them announce it to VIPs from around the world without even knowing what it was? They both gave me incredulous looks. This soup is good, huh? I ventured, fleeing reality while I fished for an excuse.
Jesus Christ, you idiot.
Yeah, it's just slowly sinking in like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I fleeing reality while I fish for an excuse. But, look, what could I do? I want them to be independent. Not having any other ideas, I tried being more forceful in my approach. It didn't work. They just glared back at me. All right, I kind of regret that. I was really busy, and maybe I should have at least heard what it was first. Too late now, of course. Yeah,
really busy? No, you weren't really busy. You were just you were fucking off and avoiding responsibility.
Yeah, you were just fucking shirking off somewhere else.
I was bored, man. What do you want from me?
I mean, just say I was fucking around somewhere.
Literally,
leave me alone.
You were SPFO.
Leave me alone on my vacation.
You were someplace fucking off. That's literally what you were doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go. All right.
Man, Rimuru, you sure are something, you know that. Honestly. Sometimes I seriously think he's a real big shot. Sometimes. That did not sound like praise to me, but oh well. Even I had to admit it was kind of a slip-up. The presentation's content was great, but I got a bit nervous in the middle of it, and Gazel admonished me about it as well.
See?
Already, yeah, he's just like, you fucking what?
Yeah.
Don't fucking do that.
You what, mate? Like
you fucking what?
You done fucked up.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just you have to be a little bit more serious when you're dropping massive scientific discoveries about the world around you.
Exactly.
So already I wanted to be more careful next time. Didn't think Yuki and Hinata were gonna rake me over the coals about it though. Or rake me over the coals about it too though. Fortunately for me, the conversation drifted back into small talk as the dinner continued. Thus, the first day of the Founders Festival closed to largely excellent reviews. It really felt like a strong start to me, and I had no doubt in my mind that it'd end a great success. Not knowing, of course, that I'd learned in short order just how naive I was.
Yeah.
As always.
Yeah.
All right.
That's like going to a con, and then going to a con, and like the presentation is like literal proof that God exists. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Or that like it's like massive fucking revelation. Like, oh yeah, deities exist. They're everywhere around. Like there's one right now.
Here's our proof of it.
Yeah, right. And it's like sound research.
Moon.
Anyway,
go.
Mm-hmm.
We were all in the meeting hall for a regular update, waiting for, well, Malamile was the last straggler. waiting for, well, Malamao was the last straggler, wasn't he? It was 9 in the evening, right after dinner ended. The festival was still in full swing outside. We could hear flutes, drums, and laughing from afar. The official closing time was 10 p.m., so this was fine. The lodgers in our nobles' accommodations could shut the windows to cut off all the noise. We wanted to be sure noise complaints were never an issue with that building. So as much as I wanted to tour the evening market, I wanted to get this meeting over with earlier than the late hour I kept everyone up until last night. That is a long sentence.
Yeah, we're gonna ignore all requests at this point. We got
we're just trying to get through this.
Yeah.
Shuna, Shion, good work today. That performance was amazing. I was completely surprised. We've been practicing on the sly, Shuna said with a grin. I've always been a good singer, and I think I'm a rather good fit for the piano instrument. The 2 songs I played are all I know, though. If she could play that well after starting so recently, I'd say a good fit is an understatement. But indeed, if she had to squeeze practice time into the nooks and crannies of her busy schedule, I could see why she had to focus on a limited song pool. The same went for Shion, too. She smiled at me. I kept my practice hidden alongside Lady Shuna as well. I wanted to surprise you, Sir Rimuru, and I think we succeeded. There was something beautifully dignified about her playing the violin. I honestly needed to give her some praise. Yeah, you looked great. You're gonna keep it up, right? Yes, of course. I'd like to get to the point where we can play all the songs you remembered, Sir Rimuru. I'll look forward to that. There's a lot I'd like to hear from you. Shion's never seemed more trustworthy to me than today. She could be a disappointment most of the time, but right now, she was shining. I then moved on to Gabiru. Gabiru, your presentation was also received favorably. Yuki was shocked by it, and King Gazelle took quite an interest as well. They said that we perhaps revealed a little too much to the public, but I think that was fine. Haha, thank you very much. A lot of it was Sir Vester's doing, but I took the initiative to do the best job I could on it. And conducting those experiments did more than just satisfy my intellectual curiosity. It made me want to relate those feelings of mine to everyone else. Perhaps I went a bit overboard with it. No, I'm not criticizing you. Your research surprised me as well, but the content was really interesting. I think our visitors were just as engaged too. More than enough of a success. Gabiru breathed a happy sigh of relief. He must have been pretty nervous. Tell Vester I said the same to him, all right? Absolutely. Vester was likely drinking with Gazelle as we spoke. The king might be a bit angry at him, but Vester would probably treat that as high praise. To him, Gazelle was eternally worthy of his respect. During this festival, at least, they should be able to enjoy themselves without worrying about things like rank or position. Diablo also updated me on arena goings-on. We have our 6 remaining seed slots filled, sir, but none of them would be a concern if I was part of the tournament. I watched the hero in action as well, but... Yes, he certainly has some fascinating tools to work with. Should I take care of him before problems arise? I told you we weren't doing that. As you wish. I think any further briefing on the day's events would spoil the fun for you tomorrow. Diablo didn't see any issues, counting Gobta and Geld, our 8 tournament competitors, were locked in. And if nothing concerned Diablo, I didn't need to hear anything else. With the right seedings, we could see some pretty neat battles. I'll take Diablo's advice and wait for the fun tomorrow. Soe spoke next, telling me that the kids spent the day enjoying the festival. They'd paid a visit to the tournament preliminaries, cheering on Masayuki, then purchased a large amount of food and souvenirs. Jeez, Hinata, you sure that's how a guardian should act? Hope the kids don't all wreck their stomachs. Now I was a little worried about how things would work out tomorrow.
She's the cool aunt. Sorry.
So we conversed some more while waiting for Malamile. Barring any problems, we'd be done with this meeting in under half an hour, or so I assumed. But given the way Malamile rushed into the hall, pale as a sheet, I had to dismiss this as optimistic. Sorry to make you wait, he stammered, and based on his body language, I could only assume something serious had come up. He was normally so unfazed, brazen even, but now he couldn't hide his panic. Shuna offered him some chilled tea, and I waited for him to catch his breath before speaking up. So, what's happening? I'm deeply sorry, sir, but we have a serious problem. Here's the thing. We're out of money.
Oh, bad problem.
How are you out of money?
It seemed that the tradesmen were all hounding him for payment at the same time, and he had spent the past little while trying to deal with them. Out of money? You're kidding me. We had all kinds of lavish fixtures from Diablo's manor, not to mention all his gold and silver, and besides, Diablo had taken 1,500 stellars in restitution from Farmus. If we dipped into that, we could hold 100 more festivals like this and still have money left over. About that, he replied when I brought this up with him. It's not an issue of budget, Sir Rimuru. It's that we can't convert claimants' assets into money. It's not in the commonly used currency of the world. Gold coins from ancient kingdoms have great artistic value, and I value their circulated around the Eastern Empire, but while they might be used over there, they weren't recognized as legal tender. The tradesmen could always have them converted, but this apparently wasn't to their liking. They wanted real gold coinage, as minted in the Dwarven Kingdom. So I paid them in regular gold coins at first, but partway through, I realized something had gone wrong. But by then, it was too late. Once our own vault was exhausted of common Dwarven gold coins, Malamile dipped into his own fortune to handle payments, but even that was limited. So he consulted with some of his closer merchant friends to figure out what was going on. What they revealed was astonishing. According to them, the new, unfamiliar tradesmen these shopkeepers had started working with demanded payment only in the common currency. In international trade, it was considered reasonable to make pure barter trades, one side's goods canceling out the cost of the other. They could also enact IOUs, contracts to handle payment later instead of exchanging cash on site. Payment would be needed sometime, just not right at that moment. One common custom to cover monetary losses in this world, where the concept of charging interest was still in its infancy. However, our nation hadn't built the trust to back up that custom yet. If our partners demanded cash, our only option was to pay them in cash. Malamile understood this well enough. That was why he so carefully managed our budget for this festival, meticulously selecting the merchants he worked with. He was apparently counting on more large-scale trade with a smaller number of partners, which would allow him to break down the stellars in our vault and use the resulting gold coins to pay out his other debts. Even if that didn't materialize, he had known the main sellers at the festival for years, and, not that it was an excuse, but he figured they'd be willing to work with him a little more. He thought IOUs or payment in ancient gold pieces would be accepted, but the tradesmen working under the merchants balked at it, and that put even Malamile's closest merchant friends in a bind. I see, Diablo said, nodding. Something tells me this is being engineered by someone. And I agree. I never expected someone to meddle with us like this. So Malamile thought this was that was Malamile. And I agree. I never expected someone to meddle with us like this. So Malamile thought this was deliberate too. But who would do that? I'm sorry, Sir Malamile, Rigard rumbled. Putting you through all this without even realizing it. Rigard, too, was busy handling our foreign visitors. If he felt responsible for it, it's because he realized this was a bigger problem than just one man. No, it was no mistake on Malamile's part. So someone's trying to ruin our reputation, then? I would imagine so. The international rules set by the Council of the West stipulate that payments must be made with gold coins, minted in the Dwarven Kingdom. Different rules apply in different nations. This is probably Malamile.
Yeah, you did that backwards.
I totally did.
Yep.
Different rules apply in different nations, but under the Western nations laws, the tradesmen are making a perfectly valid claim. If these people were part of the Free Guild, we could get that organization involved. They received favorable treatment in customs-related matters, and our nation had a fairly good rep with them. But these were merchants from nations affiliated with the council, and while they came from different countries, they had to work by international rules, on the surface at least. Us saying, well, we go by these rules, wouldn't be very readily accepted. But even before that, what if all these tradesmen were colluding to cause problems? If so, taking a my way or the highway approach would be even worse. It could be just what they wanted. If we force our rules on them, would that cause a backlash with the council?
It'd be another matter if we were already part of the council. But if we're thinking about joining it in the future, this would not paint us in a good light, no.
Normally, payment in ancient coinage wasn't a problem. But if someone wanted to mess up our reputation, what then? It almost felt like someone was testing us, seeing if we intended to follow international rules. Did someone from the council do this?
I don't know who it is, but it's someone high up, yes. Someone with the ability to build connections with merchants far and wide and plant them among the tradesmen supplying us. Because pulling something like this, you'd need to resign yourself to enduring some losses. That takes guts, and it tells me this is about more than just tarnishing our reputation.
Malamile wasn't from a large country, but he was still well-versed in the underground economy. If he said this was someone high up, someone we couldn't trace, it had to be seriously bad news. So we can't force our own rules on them, Shion asked. I nodded. Right. You've gotten pretty clever, Shion. If we do force our rules on them, there's a chance the Western nations won't count us as allies. And since we want to play nice with humans, we have to avoid that at all costs.
But wasn't it your plan to build an economic bloc with Thalion, Bloomin, Dwargon, Farminus, and the demon lord Millam's domain? If Tempest is located in the middle of that, wouldn't ignoring us lead to even greater losses for them?
Whoa. Oh, that was still Shion? I thought that was Diablo. Wow.
Fair.
Yeah, even the reader got confused.
I'm not rereading that. I'm sorry. Whoa, is this really Shion? What happened to her fucking voice? Because I'm honestly surprised. She fully understood my thoughts so much. I genuinely wondered if this was a body double of some sort. Her sharp analysis was right on the mark. This is Diablo.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's no different than it's no worse than what I did last week with Diablo.
The chuckles are a dead giveaway when it's Diablo. Come on.
Yeah, because he starts with a K.
Yeah.
Every K begins with
head
K.
Secretary, Lady Shion. You are correct.
Aren't I? So why would they try meddling with us? If they can't ignore us, wouldn't it be better to try building trust with us? For once, Shion wasn't spouting off random junk. She really got the gist of this. Astounding. Plus, that was exactly the question on my mind.
People can be very strange creatures, Diablo replied. They all must work together to survive. And yet they can't resist building class systems among themselves. And if two groups of them live next to each other, they continually squabble until one proves itself superior to the other. The weak and pitiful fear nothing more than losing their own vital interests. And in this case...
Benimaru grunted.
Are you saying that the council's worried that our economic alliance puts them in jeopardy? Exactly.
Diablo's explanation was certainly easy to grasp. Benimaru's question assured me of it, and the rest of my staff seemed convinced. A few of them were already getting worked up over it. Comical, a smiling Diablo stated.
These foolish rulers, incapable of understanding their position, refusing to accept Sir Rimaru's kindness. They should all crumble to the ground.
It was a little extreme, I thought, but Shion still nodded. So the Vice Secretary agrees. I was glad to see them cooperating, and I was really starting to see Shion in a new light, although I suppose at her core she wasn't much different. Gonna take a guess.
That's Shion?
That's not gonna happen.
Oh.
No, that's Rimaru.
Fuck me. That's not gonna happen. They both gave me disappointed looks. They're so predictably alike with stuff like this.
Either way.
So I said.
We cannot let this go unaddressed. Would you like me to thoroughly investigate these tradesmen's past employers?
We'd probably need to. It might just turn up something. But that'd have to wait until after the festival. For now, it was likely best to avoid rash action, just so we could handle anything that came our way. Once we overcame the problem at hand, then we could figure out who was behind it. That's important, yes, but hold off for now. Malamile, when is payment due for these people? Can you hold them off until then? First, I wanted to show them we'd stick to council rules. If we couldn't avoid breaking them, we'd deal with matters then. It wasn't like this would turn into war or threaten anyone's lives. I didn't think it was too urgent. Yes, wait. Who is this? Fucking
Molly.
I'm gonna guess Molly.
Yes, well, we're all enjoying the festival as well, so they are willing to wait until the day after it closes. My own friends have been talking with them, but that's as far as they were willing to compromise with us.
The day after it closes, so 3 days away. We had 2 days to work with, essentially.
And said friends are also helping me raise money at the moment. They're able to exchange ancient coins for dwarven ones at something of a loss to us. But as for whether they can come up with cash funds quickly enough, that's an open question.
Oh, Jesus.
Sounds tough.
Time out. Gee, I wonder if there's maybe a person we could probably exchange stellars with in close proximity that happens to be, I don't know, the king of the Dwarven Nation in attendance.
No, we can't bother him.
He's not smart enough for that. Come on. This is Dreamer we're talking about.
Yes,
he's just been hit in the face with the idea of not being able to pay his people. So
yes, he is. Yeah, yes, he. When it comes to being a little shit who takes advantage of a situation, yes, he is. Yes, he is. When it comes to being an opportunistic little shit, yeah, Rimuru is smart enough for that. Yeah. All right. Anyway. Also,
sounds tough.
Also, Rimuru may not be, but
Great
Raphael is. But Raphael is.
Raphael.
Yeah. All right. Anyway.
Okay. Sounds tough. I bet it was. Just taking it over here by wagon would be difficult enough. One of my staff could use spatial motion to hurry up the process, but scrambling around the world in search of gold pieces that may not even exist seemed ineffective to me. Besides, for all I knew, though I doubted it, maybe our foe was trying to lure my main advisors out of town. Again, rash moves were ill-advised. Wait, weren't there gold bars among the goods we'd imported from the Beast Kingdom? Could we use those to manufacture fake coins? My analyze and assess-driven copies would be exactly like the real things, right? Nobody could ever tell them apart, even with the Dwarven Kingdom's technology.
Understood. This is not possible. Dwarven coins are inscribed with a magical serial number that would make counterfeits easily identified.
Oh. I took a gold coin from my stomach and looked at it for a moment. Raphael was right. There was a number inscribed on it. I could make an exact copy well enough, but 2 coins with the same number would be enough to prove that at least one was a fake. Besides, wasn't counterfeiting punishable by death in most countries way back when? No wonder this world used magic and technology to regulate their coinage. I suppose they'd have to sustain a de facto universal currency like this. So we can't make our own coinage, and we likely can't buy enough in time. Everyone nodded at me. Well, even if it means taking a loss, can we pay them with pure gold via the bars we have? Wouldn't the merchants be glad for that, at least?
I imagine the more intelligent merchants would take that offer, but I have to say no to that. But I have to say no to that.
Malamile was having nothing of it. I asked him why. It seemed like a good idea to me at least.
It's because then they'll see what kind of footing we're on. Every time we negotiate with a nation afterward, they'll look back at how we dealt with this matter, and they'll see that if we're presented with an impossible quandary, we'll try to force a solution, even if it means taking losses. And once we gain that reputation, people will deliberately give us unfair offers. They won't see us as an equal trading partner. They can be sure they'll serenade us with their flowery words all day, but...
Malamile smiled a bit. But he was right. Show weakness to a merchant, and they'd fleece you dry. He sure would, I knew.
Regardless, I'll try my best to assemble the coinage we need in the scant 2 days ahead. Fortunately, our visitors have been very generous to us so far. We might just be able to go on the offensive at the end of this.
Thank you. For now, at least, there was no clear solution. Our only real choice was to remain defiant. We couldn't do anything too bold, and if it came to it, we'd just have to force our rules on them. Nothing told us we had to respect every single law put upon us. This is Tempest, and we've got our own way of doing things. I mean, sure, if we could respect everybody's regulations, that was the best thing. But either way, we couldn't let those tradesmen go home empty-handed. We'd force the issue, but we'd do it fairly. Even if they didn't like ancient coinage or IOUs or payment in barter, I didn't think they had any right to complain.
Well, no point in...
Oh, no. Well, no point in worrying too much about this. This is our nation, and if worst comes to worst, we'll make them follow our rules. So don't overthink it, and just do what you can.
You got it.
Malamile brightened a bit, apparently relieved. I don't know what the council will say to us, but let's be optimistic. By then, we'll know who this enemy is at least. Or maybe not an enemy, really, so much as someone feeling us out. It was too early to call them an enemy. It's always an enemy. What the fuck are you talking about? Right. Meeting adjourned. Good job, everyone. And with that, this evening's progress report was a wrap. Procrastinating on our problems created some annoying issues for me, I felt. But it wouldn't do to fret about them too much.
That's all he ever fucking does. He procrastinates.
Okay, I need to worry about this thing.
Stop
tomorrow.
it, Rimuru! You're making me yell at a book!
Do it.
It looked like Molly was really getting eaten up over it, so I figured I'd shoulder some of the load for him. Wanna head out for a little while, Molly? And you guys, too. None of the men in the room was going to say no. A few of them, like Benimaru, were already in their yukata and ready to have some fun.
But I need to start raising money.
Oh, quit worrying about that for now. If it's not there, it's not there. If you get so worked up that it knocks you out, that'd be an even bigger problem for us. Malamile snickered.
I could never say no to you. Well, all right.
Yeah, you can.
I, Malamile, am ready to take your offer.
Duet?
Yeah, you can. You can absolutely say no to him. It's really easy. Just no.
Say fucking no!
Yeah, it's really, really, really easy.
So I managed to drag Malamile with me to the festival for a late-night run.
2 letters,
that ought to
1
help
syllable.
him mentally
No.
recharge. From the heart, too. Don't party
No,
party
it's
too
from
much,
the
Sir
heart.
Rimuru. Don't party too much, Sir Rimuru. I could hear Shuna say as we set off. And you too, my brother. Oh, and by the way, I saw a silver-haired girl have a verbal argument with the proprietor of a certain takoyaki stall that had come up in conversation earlier. But let sleeping dogs lie. I've said that many times before. But if you stick to that rule, you really do avoid a lot of danger and trouble in your life. Thus I gratefully let them carry on and had my fill of everything the night had to offer.
Stupid!
Bankruptcy, I'm on vacation.
There's gonna be an all-out grudge match between Luminous and the Dragon, and Tempest won't survive.
Look, I'm dealing with all the budget, the nation's budget. Okay, one problem at a time.
But sir, we don't have any money. Don't worry about it.
Okay, here's the thing. Do you want me to deal with Veldor and Luminous or our budget? Which choice? You get one.
Get one. They're not
How's
very
about
good options.
just deal with things? Don't push it under the rug.
That's a big fucking
people for that.
For a nation to not have money.
That's a big
is
ass rug. That's a big
that's
ass rug.
It's more like a tiny rug.
It's called the rug of Rimuru. It just keeps getting bigger because he's an endless slime.
He could just expand it.
I'm just saying, maybe if you didn't ignore your problems and keep going, later! Fucking.
I'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. Hey, what's this gun doing pointed to my head? Oh, shit!
Well,
Maybe just push
Yeah.
that
Red
over the right
wire,
too.
blue wire. It's not like it has a ticking clock.
What do you mean, cut the
Wow.
blue wire? They're all blue!
Yeah, right. All right, guys.
There can only
Holy
be
shit.
so
What
many.
did you?
It is what it is.
What did you think about this chapter of the light novel? Now that we
Not gonna lie,
finally,
it's kind of painful.
now
think
that
it was
we
needed
finally, now that we have finally gotten to the festival proper, we got a. All right. So first off, what an eventful day we've had. 3 major things. I told you once the festival starts, holy shit, we get some stuff. We got a concert. We got a scientific debut where holy shit, some major scientific bombs got dropped and the aftermath of that. And then we found out some sneaky shit going on behind the scenes with some money and the merchants fucking around with some shit. So some major stuff going on behind the scenes at this festival. Not to mention, we got some behind the scenes stuff about what's been going on with Hinata and the kids, and I thought that was kind of cool. So there we go with that. So what'd you guys think?
Also the little big thing of Rimuru getting that skill where his underlings can now use his powers.
Yeah, that's a pretty big freaking jump.
Question though,
It
how does
is.
that work with gluttony? Like, when you just absorb stuff?
Where
How does that work?
That doesn't say that he gets to choose what skills of his they can use.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But even still, he could just be all like, by the way, Shuna, you have Shion, you have gluttony right now, so go fight.
They can't use his ultimate skills.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't get to just suddenly use his ultimate skills. That's
So,
not
like,
how that
his
works.
unique skills,
skill.
maybe.
No.
No,
they don't
not
get
even
to
those?
use no. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly which of his skills he gets to choose, and I'm not sure which ones specifically. But yeah, he can share specific ones from like his tree, his skill trees and stuff. It'll be a thing later, and I don't remember specifically how it works because they don't really go into it as much. Yeah. Anyway.
Yes.
Thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Where they at?
Yeah, where
But
are your
it's
thoughts
painful.
at? Where are your thoughts at? What are your thoughts on this chapter?
Mine are over there.
In the chat, I want to know your thoughts, and you guys, I want to know your thoughts. Go ahead, hit me with them.
Okay. I'm gonna need to write them down so I can smack you. No.
Just beat you
Fun
over.
chapter.
internet
Lots of
right
fun.
now. Yeah.
Yes, I will just
Throw them.
very fun chapter.
Put them on a sword. Like
I had a lot of fun going back and forth between Vester and Gabiru, and in my mind, I'm sort of imagining them like at the beginning on a stage, like going full Steve Jobs. So I'm sure you're wondering what we're gonna do with potions.
I'm definitely
Introducing-
wondering why it is that your Gabiru sounds like Agumon.
Because
Agumon.
the
Why?
English voicing, that's what he fucking sounds like. And I would not be
No!
surprised if that is the same voice
Gabiru
actor.
does not sound like Agumon. That's not what Gabiru sounds like. One of his side buddies
I'm
sounds
getting
like
them
him.
confused. I am. What does Gabiru sound like?
I don't know, but that's not
I
what
don't either.
Gabiru sounds
Gabiru
like.
is
Well,
kinda
too
like-
bad.
like
That's the voice I'm
Hero.
sticking with because I know I
He's
can
kinda
do
like,
it.
it's me, Gabiru.
Yeah.
I'm so cool. Like, like he's very like.
Rimuru
Full of
is
himself.
bad at
Pokemon?
ruling. Rimuru is
Yeah.
100% bad at ruling. 100%.
yeah.
Although, isn't he trying to, like, make it like, that you guys don't need me?
I mean, he's trying to make it independent, but he still
Yeah, he's
needs
trying to make it independent of him specifically, but yeah.
That's
you
also
still
true.
need to.
He's
So
not
you
very
have to
good
remember
at this.
that.
He's not very good at this whole ruling thing. All right. Anyway, continue.
I guess I can go next.
Mhm.
I think the interaction with Hinata and the kids is super cute.
Yeah.
Like, especially considering that they all had the same teacher, and she's basically like this is us humanizing Hinata on a much bigger scale than we have before. Anything with Hinata is just fun.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing her be like, wait, she has money? She's gonna go all out? Oh no! she has a bunch of money.
Yeah.
She's gonna go
Shit,
crazy.
they could ask her to help with money. Like, fuck.
You were wondering what
Can
the
I get
vampire
Hinata?
looks
Can I borrow some money? We're fucked up.
Which vampire, Paul?
Yeah.
There's like fucking 7 of them. Which fucking vampire? Luminous, her butler, the one serving her tea, the 4 behind her. Which goddamn vampire?
I mean, we kind of know what Luminous herself looks like.
I mean, yeah. I mean, shit.
But none
Roy?
of the others.
Like, which goddamn vampire? The Pope?
The Pope.
Cause
yeah, I guess going on to
the Pope
going back
of
to
Luminous
the other thing,
like, he's a vampire. Like, goddamn, they're all fucking
the
vampires.
other thing I bet with speaking of Luminous for a second there, I kind of feel like I know we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. I kind of imagine like Luminous saw the whole
watch season 2 of Slime.
Magic presentation for that Vester did, and she's trying to teach him the skill now because she knows that like you said, in like a week or two, he might just figure that out. So she realizes it's a bargaining chip now, but not going to be one later.
I guarantee that Great Sage or Raphael would have figured that shit out in about a week or so. They'd have just discovered that shit in about a week. They're like, you gotta figure it out in a year. I was like, shit. Give it a week.
We have to do something with him now. We have to make him look like he's on the back foot while we still can.
Like, it's like, I have to give him this information before he figures it out. It's like, yeah, because he's gonna figure it out real fucking quick. No, it's not. No. It's not that. No. That's not. Well,
I mean, yeah, it's an equal trade, but yeah,
it's equal trade. Shit, no, he doesn't owe her. That's her giving her something. Luminous and stockings. Get the fucking book, or again, watch season 2.
They didn't have a picture of her in the outfit they were describing, though, which is kind of
literally there towards the end of the season 2.
Yeah,
I guess the last thing would be seeing
the
Shion do more
book.
than just freaking.
It's at the beginning of the goddamn book.
Huh. I mean, to be fair,
in color.
I just kind of skipped over that because we had to read. So.
Yeah.
Well, you could go back to the beginning of the fucking book, sir.
I'm lazy.
Well, that's on
but
you're the idiot.
Whatever.
Bookmark where you're at, though it's not that difficult. You're at the chapter fucking 3.
I'll just satisfy my ways with Google search later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just Google. Literally, just Google Luminous, and that's it. Or even YouTube.
YouTube. Okay. Yeah, okay, I guess so.
Yeah, season 2.
Not
you
wrong.
See clips of her. They literally have a thing of like Veldora reveals the secret of Luminous.
Yeah, but it's
I wonder if I could find Newgrounds. Something around Newgrounds.
But then you get that really annoying thing where like they don't post the full scene. It like jumps around and they clip like very small seconds of them talking, and it's like slightly irritating because you don't get like the full context of the pauses. They like.
I don't think it's even like the whole episode or whatever.
Yeah, it's not. But that's why I said like.
Lastly,
anyway.
Shim, thoughts?
Yes. I think that he's in deep shit. It was very painful to listen to all this. It's like Molly Miles literally like coming to you guys like to him like, sir, we have no money. Bro, your nation that you are the ruler of does not have money.
I'm not.
He's like, don't worry about it. Just throw it on the thing. We'll
it's
deal
not.
with it
That's not.
Well,
That's not accurate.
Yes, buddy.
That's not accurate. They do have money. They just don't have the currency that they're demanding. And as you can see,
they can't convert it.
As you can tell, they're being set up on purpose. But there is a way, but they do have a way, and kind of as we were stating, there is a way that they can get this taken care of, and of course Raphael is going to come in and save the day because Rimuru's an idiot. Rimuru's a fucking idiot that has at least a fucking cheat code with him. He's very lucky. If it wasn't for Raphael, Rimuru would have been buried as the inconsequential fucking overpowered character that he is. He's overpowered, but he's fucking inconsequential. Like, Rimuru would have been outmaneuvered. Rimuru would have been outmaneuvered years ago. And outplayed by much, much smarter people than he is. Like, the Nation of Tempest would have been bulldozed over a long time ago. Like there's no fucking chance that like he would have probably been outplayed and outmaneuvered initially for taking things way too easy and being way too easygoing during the Orc Lord thing. None of that would have gone as easy as it did. None of that would have. He'd have most likely lost that.
Oh yeah, because literally he had Great Sage fight a little bit of that for him.
Well, not because he had Great Sage fight that for him. It's just there's no way he would have been able.
Well, I'm saying that it was there.
A lot of what he initially had was because he had Great Sage there to like consolidate a lot of his skills and stuff. Like Great Sage automatically did a bunch of stuff for him. As far as consolidating skills and things like that, and man, just automatically did a bunch of things that he didn't know how to do from the get-go. So yeah,
there's also the producing of the swords early on. Like there's a lot of that Great Sage Dodge, like in just season 1 and 2 alone.
Predator, all that stuff. Not just basic stuff. Yeah. He does things kind of automatically because of Great Sage.
Doesn't Great Sage help revive him initially? Is that the voice of the world?
It's kind of words of the world. That's words of the world, kind of setting him up and giving him the body that he. Yeah.
Okay, I know they're the same voice, so it was kind of hard.
He gets Great Sage. He actually gets Great Sage on his own. Everything that happens in episode 1, that's all because of him. But Great Sage is responsible for everything that happens after he becomes a slime. Great Sage is the broken ability that is probably the most powerful for him.
If it was just him on his own, he would have gotten stuck at the bottom of that body of water, and maybe he would have been able to come up with a way out on his own, but he wouldn't have gotten the new skill out of it, or at least have known that he had that skill.
Yeah, Rimuru on his own,
or even the fight with the flame demon.
Rimuru on his own is kind of an idiot.
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, just an idiot. Just straight up, I don't see Rimuru on his own actually being able to take on that Tempest Serpent. Yeah, I really don't.
Even with all his powers and all that.
Right.
He wouldn't know how to use them.
Rimuru himself on his powers and his abilities and everything, is he capable of doing all of the things that he did do without Great Sage? Is he capable? Yes. Could he do it? No. Because he needs that guidance because he's an idiot.
Hell, he would not have been able to do Megiddo.
No, there's no way he'd have been. Well, because Megiddo, the precise calculations that are needed to pull that off, he needed Great Sage to do that. And that's Great Sage that was doing that, because at this point in time, he had not evolved into the Demon Lord, so he had not become Raphael at that point.
Like even if we assume he lucks his way through pretty much everything from season 1, his first fight he with Hinata would not have been able to get away from that.
This is all right. So here's the reason, guys. Here's the reason why I'm so eager to get to volume 15. I'm about to go. All right. So we get Rimuru's slime form, and then he gets his first evolution when he gets named Rimuru Tempest. So he's just a basic ass nameless slime, and then he gets named Rimuru Tempest, and that's his first evolution. Right? Then he eats Shizu, and he gets his kind of second evolution into his human form, right?
Yes.
So that's technically his little child form. And then he gets his third evolution into his demon lord form, and he grows a little bit, right? He gets a little bit taller, and he goes from child form to kind of like more of a teenage or like a preteen form kind of esque.
He grows up a little.
He grows up a little bit, right? Yeah. Well, he's about to hit his next evolutionary form. And I mean, he's gonna jump up in power.
Be a man.
I'm going to become perfect.
No, I mean, when I say he's gonna jump up in power, I mean he's really gonna jump up in power. I mean,
even more perfect. No.
Yeah, perfecter cell. Yeah, exactly.
More perfect than perfect.
Okay, Yamcha, accurate, but dial it down.
Yeah, like he's gonna jump up to Milim or higher levels. He's going to hit like crazy top tier demon lord levels, and from what I understand, he's going to physically grow as well. So when he hits his human form, he's going to actually be taller, and yeah. So yeah.
Neat.
Yeah, so I can't wait to read how that happens. That's why I'm really eagerly looking forward to this. So he's gonna hit another evolutionary level on his development. So really looking forward to that. That having been said, guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate you all coming and checking out tonight's stream. Eagerly looking forward to next Monday. Hope you all have a wonderful Turkey Day. If you have not done if you have not done so yet, go check out our stuff over on Hive. Yeah, if you've not checked out Hive yet, we're slowly transitioning over there. Just in case things go very poorly over on Twitter. We haven't left Twitter. It's just we've got 1 foot kind of out the door in case things go poorly. We haven't set up the Fat Dog account for it yet. I'm not in charge of that. I don't have access to the email, so I haven't set that stuff up. We'll figure that out.
Does not speak for us yet.
Yeah. I don't have access to that account. I can't verify that. So yeah, it's not something that I can necessarily do and or set up at the moment. And since it's through mobile only, it's not exactly something that I can work on at the moment. So that having been said, it is what it is. But us in the US, we're getting ready for Turkey Day, but still thinking of chicken. That's a thing I posted on there. I posted the sexy chicken just laying down like that on the on my Hive. So,
Hive, bring a sword.
Bring a knife.
Bring a knife. Carve a knife.
Paint me like one of your French hens.
I'm like, oh yeah. Draw me like one of your French hens.
Oh my God. I should have typed that. That's really good. That's really good. I should have typed that. Draw me like one of your French hens. Oh man, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
That's beautiful. All right.
There's a gem coming out of here every once in a while.
Yeah. All right, you guys have a wonderful evening. We'll see you next Monday for Chapter 3 as we continue on with the Founders Festival. You guys have a lovely one.
Yep.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.